everyone. So if we all are here, thumbs up, switch on your cameras for a nice photograph. Please switch on your cameras for the nice photograph and thumbs up. Everyone, one nice photograph with us this evening.
I think we want some more on cameras.
Yes, please.
Good. It's so nice to see you all.
Monica ma'am, waiting to see you.
So nice. We're so grateful we all get that opportunity to see you. Thank you so much.
Not an issue, ma'am.
Yes, Ridhima, we may begin.
Yes. So because it's already 6:05, let's start the session. And once again, good evening to everyone. And I'll take this opportunity to introduce the expert of the day, uh, Mr. Harshdeep. So Mr. Harshdeep is the founder and CEO of Leggit AI, transforming sales and contract management with artificial intelligence. Harshdeep is an accomplished entrepreneur and technology leader with more than 15 years of experience spanning entrepreneurship, technology consulting, venture incubation, and business growth. He's the founder and CEO of Leggit AI, as I have told you. That's a groundbreaking platform which is leveraging artificial intelligence and blockchain to revolutionize sales and contract management, helping businesses to unlock millions in savings. Uh, Mr. Harshdeep has an extensive leadership experience and he has led business across B2B and B2C sectors, scaling ventures and raising the significant investments, including managing $4.5 million for a VC-backed initiative. He's an innovator, he's a thought leader, he has published articles on entrepreneurship. Uh, he is a TEDx speaker as well on innovation and GSVC World finalist representing Asia and Africa. He's a corporate expert, he's a mentor, he's an advisor. In short, I can say he's a visionary blending technology and human-centered design. Harshdeep is dedicated to building impactful solutions for the business worldwide. So with this, we welcome you, sir, for on the third day of faculty development program. And we're looking forward to having an informative session on design thinking. Thank you so much. The session is all yours.
Thank you, Nitima ma'am, and thanks everyone for joining. It's a wonderful audience. I think we are almost 50, or sorry, 60 plus. So there's been a lot of details shared about my profile, what I've done, what I'm doing right now. But what connects us to what we are discussing today, as well as what I'm doing right now, is we are midway redesigning or kind of completely overhauling Leggit and launching Leggit 2.0 in first week of January. So this is a very appropriate time to share some of my experiences. I deliberately chose not to share what we are doing at Leggit AI 2.0. There will be a kind of exercise that we'll have at the end of fag end of this particular session. But let me try to share my screen, and we'll see if I can move the slides. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and can you see my slides changing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I've kind of converted it into a PDF so that it's much easier to navigate through the slides. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So you might be thinking, if you go to our first slide, you might be thinking this is half the topic that you were promised will be discussed. So okay, I have a background to this particular thought process, or the process that we are discussing today. Number one, I have always been a practitioner of design and design thinking. So it's a relatively newer term that we have started using. There were other methodologies that we were using for developing products, developing processes, and kind of even problem in problem solving, and even in scaling businesses. So sometimes you hit a plateau, how to scale further. So the base to having innovation in your business or having excellence in your business goes to um, designing a wonderful product or designing a wonderful service that you're offering, and then building excellent processes around it. So if your starting point is business excellence, and you do not have a good, not even great, but good product or a good service to sell to your customers, it's very difficult to bring excellence to your business. So a bad product cannot, I mean, however strong processes you have around it, however say structured processes you have around it, however good people you have managing a bad product or a bad service, it cannot create business excellence. So the bottommost layer, when you are thinking about creating excellence in business or innovation, is to have start the design thinking process from the product itself, or from the the service itself, and then you can scale it to your processes. Then you can scale it to multiple say channels that you have in your businesses, or day-to-day problems that you face. And we'll be discussing about these. Okay. So the agenda for today is one quick introduction I've already given, why I'm just choosing the two words design thinking, and then we'll kind of expand on the same. We'll discuss something about design thinking, and then elaborate the same using a couple of case studies. As I've already mentioned, I'm not an academician. I'm a practitioner, so I'll be sharing a lot of real life examples, and then we'll kind of culminate all these learnings into a structured learning, which will have equal say equal part of academics or theory, as well as some practical say applications. Okay. So then how do you build upon design thinking to create innovation and business excellence? We'll discuss about that. And the hot topic these days is impact of AI. So Leggit AI itself, I mean, as the word or the brand name that we have suggests, that we are an AI product. How does AI change the equation of design thinking and implementing design thinking? We'll discuss another case study on it, and where all it can be implemented. So we'll go through it. Okay. So let's go to the bare basics of that. Okay, what exactly is design? Okay, so just give me a moment. Rather than sharing my whole screen, I'll share only the presentation, uh, because otherwise I'll not be able to see uh, if somebody is raising a hand, or uh, somebody is asking a question.
Harshdeep sir, not an issue. I
Okay,
can help you with that. And otherwise, we have our team members over here. They can help you with those questions.
okay, quick. Sure. So then again, let me share my entire screen, because then it's easier to change the slides. Okay, so now what exactly is design? Okay, there are a lot of misconceptions around design. um, and I not only design digital products, I love designing physical products. I love sketching, painting, and I've done wood carving for designing say physical products. I've done plastic injection molding kind of design as well, just out of curiosity, and just out of because of an hobby. But there is a lot of misconception about design. So let me show you something. So this is a car. Okay, this is a red car. If I tell you to kind of evaluate it or judge it in your mind, that okay, is it a good design or a bad design, or a what kind of a design is it? There are so many characteristics to it. One, this is a car, this is a red car. It's a Polo model of Volkswagen, which means it is known to be sturdy, stable, very reliable kind of a car. Okay. Then I show you another design that, okay, this is another car. Your thoughts will slightly change now. That, okay, this looks sporty. One, two, it's a two-seater, maybe for youngsters. It might be an electric car. Is it a good design, bad design? What kind of a design? Yeah, it looks beautiful and it will be fast, because somehow we know from the design elements that this is supposed to be a sporty car, so it will be fast. Sturdy, we don't know. And then I show you another design that, okay, what kind of a design is it? I mean, I don't want answers, just maybe think in your mind that, okay, yeah, this is a old design. How we know? Just from the shape of the car, we know that this is 1960s, 70s kind of a design. Is it electric? No, it is not electric. Is it sporty? Maybe in those days it might be sporty. Right now it might not be. And then I show you another design. You will feel okay. Maybe some of you are kind of pleasantly surprised to see this kind of a design suddenly, because we were discussing other beautifully done cars. Is this beautiful? I don't know. It's a quirky design. Yes, it is. But is it a car? Yes, it's a red car, kind of designed in the form of a strawberry. Okay. So no judging, just having thoughts in your mind, and then we kind of try to evaluate them. That, okay, is it a good design or a bad design? Okay. If we go back to these cars that I showed, that, okay, is it a good design? Many might say that, okay, it's a good design. Others might say it's a bad design. My daughter, who is 6, will definitely say it's a wonderful design because it looks like a strawberry. Okay. And this one, okay, maybe a person like me or my father would say, yeah, wow, it's a nostalgic kind of a design. It evokes certain emotions in our mind. That, okay, it takes me. My dad would say it takes me to my college days. Okay, this one, yes, it takes us to future. That, okay, this somehow signifies, because this signifies the past. We know, and we might not even be able to explain it, but we know that this signifies the past, this is the future, and this is stability, sturdy, reliability, kind of a design. But are these designs good or bad? Okay, people might have their answers to it, because the same design, somebody would say it's a good design. Same design, exactly same design, some other person will say it's a bad design. Okay. So now coming to the definition of design, what exactly is design? So design is not just the final product, let me tell you. This is the biggest myth that people have. This is the biggest misconception. Design is not the final product. Design is actually an intentional process, that we are doing something intentionally to create solutions. Okay. Number one, the solution can be an innovative thing which does not exist. We are creating from scratch and it will solve a problem. Second, it can be addresses specific needs or problems through thoughtful planning. So there are solutions existing. We are trying to evolve on those solutions, improve those solutions, but there might be certain problems, or a specific part of the solution we are trying to improve through these three important things: planning, structure, and execution. So the entire process of addressing a particular problem or a particular need is the design. So going back to our strawberry car. So now if we think that, okay, this is a very good design if it was specifically created for promotion of a strawberry flavored, say, milkshake. Okay. So then it becomes a wonderful design. Some people who were earlier thinking that, okay, this doesn't look like a good design, if you change the frame of reference, of thought for those people that okay, this is what the product was made for. This might be a brand new car created last week for a movie shooting. That is a period movie where we show a gangster movie, say 1970s, 80s kind of this thing. So our thought that this is an old car. No, it's not an old car. It's a brand new car, but created in an old fashion to meet a specific need of a movie that is being produced right now. And similarly, we can. This might be just a prototype. Again, you can change your thoughts. If you are given a reference of a solution that you are creating or a problem that you are solving. Okay. Now going back to, so whenever you now see a vehicle or maybe any other thing, you try to judge it from the frame of reference. The SUV, it's a wonderful car for off-roading. The Ferrari, it's a wonderful car for speed. This is a cute Mini Cooper that say kind of invokes nostalgia. And then there is our sturdy auto, which is meant to take people from one place to another. No off-roading, no speed, but yes, 5-6 people from one place to another. So they might be wonderful solutions if your frame of reference is the problem that they are addressing. They might be really bad solutions if the frame of reference is. So we cannot have an auto or even the Toyota Prado that we have in a F1 base. So that will be a bad solution for in that particular frame of reference. So now, if
Harsha, which is the better design, auto or a Mini Cooper?
okay, for me, if I have to transport people from one place to another, it's an auto. If I have to kind of go on a picnic with my family, it will be a Mini Cooper. So the frame of reference changes.
Right, sir.
So now, what I wanted to do with this exercise was kind of one, uh, that there are good designs, but I would say there is no bad design. A bad design might be just for the wrongly chosen frame of reference. So if you are trying to have say Bajaj Auto in a F1 race, that is a wrong frame of reference. So what we try to do when we initiate the thought process around design thinking is we evaluate designs in a nuanced manner, not in a objective kind of a manner, yes, no, good, bad. So it this particular is an efficient design to manage, say, to manage cleaning of a stone floor, or this is an optimal design for senior citizens. It might not be a good design for youngsters or maybe people in their 20s, but for senior citizens uh, above 60, this is an optimal design. This is a redundant design because why should I need this if I already have another product? So this is how you start evaluating designs, evaluating solutions to problems in a very nuanced manner, so that you come up with the best solution for that frame of reference. Okay. Now coming to what exactly is design thinking. If we add to design definition of design thinking. So basically, design thinking combines creativity, functionality, and purpose. Okay, these are three things. One, you have to be creative with your solution. So if it is there is a lot of redundancy in the solution that you are providing, it's not a very creative solution. If the functionality that we desire is not being met, it's not the optimal solution. And if the purpose, say for example, the purpose of a car in the end is to take a person from one place to another. If it is a beautifully designed car, it is comfortable, but it does not move, the engine fails. I mean, it cannot start. It cannot go from one place to another. The purpose fails. Okay, to use all these and create products and experiences or systems. So systems, when we start creating systems, that they are at organization levels. Products, that's the basic unit of creating a business. So either you have a product or service around which you create experiences, maybe for your customers, your stakeholders, your own employees. I mean, you can have experiences for your employees, and combining these multiple experiences, you create systems. So a well-defined, say for example, I would take the example, of a business school or maybe a university, there might be say courses which are basic products, and then around those courses you create classes. This is section 1, section 2, or this is the practical part, or this is the lecture, or this is the practical experience, and then the combined university is the system. Okay, systems or ideas that are both aesthetically pleasing and practical. So it's practical to use, wonderful looking, might not be really great looking or good looking, but it's say it puts the person in a comfortable position that I am not at discomfort by using this particular product or this particular service. So that's the base of design thinking. So what I'll do is, as I said, I love giving examples, giving case studies. So if we have to break it down, if we do not go by the academic definition, if we have to deploy design thinking, you can break it up into three basic questions. One, why does this need to exist? So if you are creating a chair, or if you are creating maybe a pen or a new type of a mobile device, okay, why does this need to exist? Which is the problem that it is addressing? Or it might be the other way around, that okay, I have a problem in place, I need this product or service to exist. Second is, who is it for? Okay, there are a lot of startups that I see. I collaborate with a lot of VCs, or maybe I'm part of a lot of say startup groups or founder groups, where a lot of startups fail just because they have created a wonderful product and do not know who will use this product. So maybe they had access to technology, there was a new technology in place, um, they created the product and don't know who will use it. What we call in business language is distribution. They had the product in place, they did not have the distribution in place, or could not reach out to those people for using this technology. And then the last one is, how can it be it best serve its purpose? There is a need, you have a product or a service, and how do you combine the two? Say for example, electric cars and gasoline cars, they came at the same time. I mean, 1920s and 30s, we had electric cars. Okay, one, it was not serving, there were not enough chargers, or there were not enough say customers who wanted actually to use that. So it lay say in hibernation for around 70-80 years before it was again picked up, and electric cars became a hype. There were electric scooters, if you see search Google, there were electric scooters also in existing in 1920s and 30s. Okay. So now again picking up the car example. So this is a Volkswagen Polo. We have to kind of improve it. Okay. The problem at hand is that we have to improve it. First thing that we do is blow it up into parts. That okay, if there is a product or a service, what does it constitute of? What is the smallest part that's there in that product or service? What's the unit, the basic unit that creates this? There can be tire, there can be windows, there can be windshield, there can be engine, the exhaust. Okay, now how do we rearrange them or substitute some of them with better parts to create a new solution? Okay, so there might be one team who might uh, create a wonderful sports car. They might replace the engine or bring the engine from front to back, create wonderfully designed newly designed uh, windows, or a glass shield, or the alloys that we have in this car, improve the speed. And then there is a scale, that okay, what do we call this kind of an improvement? Is this a drastic improvement? Is this a marginal improvement? And again, that might differ from say your frame of reference. Some might call it a drastic improvement over the base product that we have. Somebody might say this is a say marginal improvement. Or maybe in the time period that you are, 15 years from now or 20 years ago, it would have been considered a drastic improvement over over the original design. But right now, if you see, this is a marginal kind of improvement because we have these kind of cars. Okay, so now this might be groundbreaking right now, or a really innovative solution. It still takes a person from one place to another, but it has three wheels. I mean, the front wheel is very differently placed than we have in the current design. The windows are very different. Maybe the whole pod opens. The person enters from the front rather than from the side. So this can be in today's frame of reference can be called a disruptive solution or a disruptive improvement on the original design. So it's kind of a scale. It cannot be again said good or bad, but it's a scale that okay, where do you see this design becoming disruptive or marginally better or really good? Uh, and you can actually learn a lot by just observing. Okay, so this is something I tell a lot to our design team, our development team. um, Maybe have the end user use the product in front of you, and you just observe. You ask, maybe you don't even ask questions, or maybe in the second round you ask questions, and you know what exactly is the improvement that is required in the solution that we are providing. Okay. Now coming back to the design thinking part. The example that I gave was um, that one, you can use design thinking to solve a problem. Okay, there is a problem and there is no solution for it right now. Second, it can be a solution which is already there but needs improvement. So what we call in design language is, one is actually innovation, second is evolution. So innovation is where something does not exist and you create from scratch. Evolution is where something exists and you improve the solution. Okay, and design thinking can be deployed in both the scenarios. So let me take slightly academic route now. So how to create a structure around design thinking? Okay, so there are basically five parts to it. It's a process that you can go through. So initially, what we do is, and what we have done is, initially try to create a structure around it till the complete process or essence of what we are trying to achieve is imbibed in the team itself. So first step is we empathize. I'll take you through the process. How do we do it? Then we define the solution. First we empathize with the person who's facing the problem. Second, then we define the problem, that this is the problem. Then we try to ideate around that problem. What are the different solutions that can be done? Then we prototype, pick up the best solution and prototype, and then test that particular. And believe me, this works wonders. And right now, as I said, we are about to launch Leggit 2.0 in first week of January, and I can see how effective it has been to say solve the problems that we have at hand from the customers. So again, coming back to a wonderful example which I always love giving in product design is, we'll pick up an example of a product design. We'll pick up an example of a digital product design, and we'll pick up a problem of a business problem, a strategy kind of a problem, so that you have experience. And the audience might be coming from diverse backgrounds. I don't know, I mean, whether you're building physical products or digital or improving processes, but we'll take one example of each, and this will be very easy and easy to understand and interesting examples. Okay, so there's a wonderful case study of the Heinz ketchup bottle. Okay, so initially what happened, this came, and you might also face the same problem. This came in a glass bottle. The problem that the customers faced was that a lot of sauce used to keep getting stuck on the sides as well as on the bottom. Every one of us has felt this problem. So there are steps to solve this problem, and then I'll not go into again detail. In the second example, I'll go to slightly more details, because I wanted to keep the first example interesting so that you do not lose interest. Okay. So there are three parts at high level. One is you understand what the problem is, then you explore the solution, and then you put them into practice. The solutions, you materialize them, you put them into practice. Again, these three can be divided into two parts each. One, you empathize. Here, the problem is that the sauces, the customer is not able to use the bottle to extract all the sauce or the ketchup that is there in the bottle, because it's getting stuck at the bottom. Okay, so we first ask the question, these questions to the user. They have told their questions. We define the problem, that okay, there should be a better way for a customer to take out the ketchup from the Heinz bottle without struggle. So that might be the definition. And then we ideate that, okay, what should we do? Maybe we create a bottle or a material where the ketchup doesn't get stuck. Okay, that might be the best solution, because if it doesn't get stuck, it will come out easily. Second, we create a prototype, a bottle of that material. So yeah, anybody asked a question? Okay.
No, sir, no, sir. It was just a disturbance.
Okay. So once you have the prototype in place, we test the solution with the actual customers, because a prototyping is actually done in the lab or in a test environment. The testing is done both in the lab environment and with the customers. Again, customers we can split by using A/B testing. There are a lot of methodologies of testing. I'll not go into those details. And once we know that we have solved, might not have solved the problem 100%, but it is still a better solution that we had in the at the start, and we implement it. Okay. So now Heinz came up with a bottle that was made of a material. It was plastic. That was made of a material, a different type of a plastic, where the sauce or the ketchup did not stick to the walls of the bottle. So one problem was solved. Okay. But then there was another problem. But still, the customers had to, because once the bottle was kind of near finishing and the ketchup was still at the bottom, they had to kind of push or strike the bottle from the bottom and take out the ketchup. So that was the second problem. So now what happens is, in the design thinking process, it's not that okay, you have to follow these steps one by one and reach the implementation stage. You can go back to the last stage at any point you want. That okay, maybe while asking the questions to the customers, we did not capture enough information, and we have to again back. We are not able to define the problem properly. Okay, go back. We have defined the problem properly. We are ideating, but the ideas that are coming are not solving the problem. We can again go back to the definition. Or while prototyping, we feel that okay, this might not be the perfect solution. We again go back to empathize. So you can at any stage go back, and this is the part where the evolution of the product takes place. I mean, say for example, when iPhone came, the first iPhone, the iPhone 3G that came, it was a wonderful innovation. It was a disruptive product. But after that, all the iPhone models that have came, 14, 15, 16, whatever are there right now, they have been improvements over the past designs, using this process that okay, now the implement we have implemented, let's again go back to empathize for the new model has been implemented through all these stages, again go back. So Apple iPhone is a wonderful example of design thinking, and they actually deployed during the product innovation or product improvement phases. Okay.
Harshdeep, sir, with this example, I'm wondering,
Yes.
take Parachute has not done anything. Because still we face the same problem that during winters the oil does not come out.
Yes. So that's maybe we can create a case study and reach out to Parachute that okay, let's deploy design thinking process. But yes, there will be solutions.
Right.
We can definitely that's a wonderful example that you have given, because Heinz implemented it, and then what they did was they did launch this bottle, but then they created another bottle that, okay, which can be placed upside down. Okay, so they increased the surface area of the cap, so that it doesn't fall down. They created the top of the bottle near the lid slightly bigger, so that, okay, when the ketchup is here, the center of gravity is lower. So they created this bottle that the whenever the customer picks up the bottle, thus the ketchup is already near the exit, and it was a squishy kind of a bottle. You would have seen it personally. Viva also has done. Viva actually started with these bottles. If you have seen, Viva actually started with these bottles, and now the salad dressings and all are available in the upside down bottle, uh, similar to what we have in Heinz. So you just pick up the bottle, squeeze it, and the ketchup comes out. So this is a very interesting and wonderful example of design thinking that Heinz implemented. So now let's go to a slightly complex problem. Okay, which again I have picked up because every one of us has experience. So I picked up three examples, two of which are actually because everybody would be using these kind of bottles. Second, everybody of us does online shopping or e-commerce. I mean, we know e-commerce well now. Okay, so one of the biggest problems that e-commerce faced in initial days, or still some people who are starting new e-commerce businesses, is the abandoned cart problem. Okay, so what happens is, one, you keep adding the product to carts, okay, and then you close the website or the app and go away. That's the first step. And sometimes people, that's the first step of abandoned cart. Sometimes people go to the cart, start paying for it. You create the account, and then you are asked the credit card information or shipping address, billing address. So and then people are kind of fed up. They leave the process midway and go back to whatever they were doing. Okay. Huge problem, one, for the customer, because they wanted to buy a product, um, could not buy it. Two, the company or the firm spent a lot of money on marketing or digital marketing, brought the customer to their website. The customer put the say articles in the cart but did not buy, so they lost the money that they had spent on marketing. They lost the revenue that they would make, and in the end it increases their cap. Okay. So now here there are two parties when we try to empathize. Let's again start with the same process, empathize. Okay, but now there are two parties instead of one party when in the Heinz ketchup problem. So right now there are two parties, one is the buyer, one is the seller. We have to empathize with both and ask what exactly is your problem. So there is a structure to there are empathy maps, there are mind maps, there are a lot of processes available. I'll not go through them. Maybe after the session I can share material with you guys. So I did not want to make it too boring and too academic and theoretical, but this is something, how you kind of conduct empathy sessions. There are many mental models and all that you can deploy. Many right now there are tools also available that you can deploy. One, we have to be in their frame of reference. Okay, so one of the biggest problems that we face at Leggit AI is the developers are not able to put themselves in the shoes of the customer who's using the end product. Okay, because these guys know technology, they build what they can do, and they build wonderful things. But sometimes the customer is not even able to find the new feature that they have created. Where is that feature? It is hidden somewhere. Okay, so one, we have to step into the shoes of the end user to appreciate them as human beings. Okay, I have a wonderful example that I saw this week. I was at a wedding. One of my relatives, who is 72, 73, was actually using say glass. A hand glass. What we call it, and to kind of track his Uber ride. He was wearing spectacles. He was still holding a glass over his mobile phone. so that he can actually see where or read what is there on the Uber app. Okay. So once we actually step into their shoes, appreciate them as human beings, that okay, they are not machines, understand their feelings, that okay, what are they feeling right now? Are they feeling elated? Are they feeling frustrated? Are they feeling angry? Are they feeling helpless? Are they feeling having a wow kind of a feeling while using the product? So if you are able to map their feelings, and sometimes what we do is we create test sessions and deploy cameras also, that okay, we tell the customer that okay, create a contract between a employee and an employer and get it signed from a employee using our system. And then we map their emotions wherever they are facing frustration. That definitely is a friction step that is creating a friction, and you can make it out that okay, are they feeling confused now, are they, and sometimes when the result comes, there is a wow feeling that okay, this is really wonderful. So what we have to do is kind of capture their frustrations, capture their helplessness, and whenever they are clueless, I don't know what to do next, okay, and solve those particular points, and then collate it and communicate it to the end user, that okay, is this what you want, or is this what you are not able to do, or is this, in the end, every consumer, it's a baseline, every consumer wants peace of mind. I mean, if they are spending money with you, they just want peace of mind, not more than nothing more than that. Okay. So now, while talking to customers as well, or stakeholders, while understanding their problem or empathizing with them, I always love the 3 why method. Okay, you first time ask a question to a person that okay, why didn't you pay? Because you had put all these items in the cart. Why didn't you pay? Why didn't you go to checkout? The person will say, okay, I didn't want to. Okay, why you didn't want to? Because it was asking my credit card information and my credit card was not handy, or it was asking billing address separately and shipping address separately. I didn't want to put it at two places, or maybe some other issue. And then you ask that okay, why were you not able to do that? By the time you reach second or third why, you will get the exact answer why the person or what you need to improve. First why is very superficial. Okay, I am a part of digital Desh by Startup India, and we there is one report that is created every year. So the one that I led was in Indore. You ask the first why, people will say, you ask them okay, do you watch Netflix or YouTube or Instagram? The person, people will say okay, I don't have time for these things. And then when you go to their mobile, ask them okay, can I check your usage? The top two or three will be YouTube, Instagram, and all. Because the person doesn't give you they'll either give you a very superficial answer or doesn't give you the right answer, maybe especially the Indian consumer, if you are talking to. Okay, try to go to multiple levels to find the exact issue that the customer has. So now the buyer, I'm just taking an example. The customer, for the buyer,
Harshal,
yes,
just a second. Miss Dr. Vivek Sharma is raising hand. Can you
yes,
take his question?
yes, please.
Dr. Sharma? Dr. Sharma, do you have a question? Or you can please lower down your hand. So please continue. Dr. Monica Suri. Dr. Monica Suri, you have a question?
Yeah, Ridhima. Yes. May I
Hello, ma'am.
ask a question, Harshdeep ji?
Yes,
So,
please.
as my question is related to design thinking only, because
Okay.
when you're talking about personalization and customization and co-creating it, you gave many examples of automobile brands, and I think Lexus is one of them, which talks
Yes.
about design your own car, and PNG is equally in the in line to what co-creation is all about. So I just want to learn from you, like. Uh, will it be feasible for mass production and mass consumption? I just look it up to the point of view of seller, that when there's a lot of personalization, how are they going to handle the logistics and the cost
Okay.
factor? And most importantly, the kind of services they do. And another point in line to this only, like, can you just talk about the related sectors wherein design thinking may not be feasible or very much applicable? Because when it comes to healthcare, and we talk about the personalized treatments today. So which sectors you feel are very strongly applying the design thinking, and which sectors you feel is still a challenge and limitation? Yeah.
Okay, so number one, I'll take these questions one by one. So number one of the strongest or the biggest use that we are seeing in of design thinking is say implementing in software. Okay, I'll give you my own example. How we started building Leggit, and how I've learned from my last experience. So this is actually my third company that we have started 2 years ago. So what we did was we created a base product that, okay, this is the base product that we have. Launched it to a limited set of customers that, okay, we onboarded just 10 customers and told them, let's co-create and co-build this particular product. And told them that, okay, pay whenever you feel the product is worth paying for. Okay. And one of them paid for the whole year next month itself. They like the product so much. Then once we had the feedback from this particular set of customers, we again went back to the first part. With a bigger audience, we launched it to 100 customers. Okay. Then we went to again through the same steps. We launched it to 1,000 customers. Then what we did was we created a section in the app itself, in the application itself, on feedback and customer support. So one, okay, if you are facing an issue, just raise a ticket. Second, if you have a feedback to improve the product, just give us the feedback. And so what we did was, from that version onwards, we created the roadmap. One, with our thinking, what the customers need. Two, with all the feedback that we had from the customer. So whoever gave us the feedback, we used to schedule a call with that person. So right now, what people are doing is kind of even using AI tools to kind of automate some of these. That, okay, there are tools right now where you deploy it on your website. Depending upon customer behavior on your website, they keep improving the design of the website itself. Okay, so now some of those tools have come even to applications. I mean, once the person from website to lands onto the application, and we are deploying it with our customers. The biggest example is we recently implemented at our first $1 billion customer with 200 licenses. What we have been able to create is a customized experience of dashboards, reports, and all for each of these 200 people. So earlier, what happened with SAP Oracle was that, okay, you had one dashboard, everybody accesses that, and maybe some customization. Right now, what we can do is, with customer feedback and even handing over the reins to the customer, they can create a separate experience for themselves without changing the base product. I mean, it's the topmost layer of UI, or say some bit of UX that they can improve. So this is the extreme example where we have been able to deploy design thinking at mass level, and other software companies are also doing. Now coming to the example of Lexus or Rolls-Royce creating say customized cars for customers. What they do is they still have a base product where their biggest cost, so 80 to 90% cost, or more than 90% of the cost, would be on the chassis, on the engine, or on the body. What they let you customize is the leather that you can use in the seats, the color options, that cost is limited to not more than 10 to 15%. Okay, so they try to optimize. Maybe they might have 2 or 3 engine variants, but then not more than two or three. They might have 1,000 variants when it comes to leather colors that you can use for seats, or maybe 100 or a few hundred options for just the color of the car. So what they do is create a base version, and then co-build with the customer. And then anyhow, there are a lot of calculations that go into say calculating your market size. I mean, what is the total addressable market? Whether is, I mean, can Samsung as we do. But even if in such kind of scenarios they offer customization, it'll be limited to a certain portion until it comes to say one-on-one kind of a thing, that you are building a house for a customer. Okay, then it has to be, that can be one-on-one kind of a one-of-one kind of a scenario, that okay, this is the only house made with this design, this furniture, and there is no one, no other example. But yes, I mean, can be deployed in those scenarios as well. So did I answer, or did I miss some part of the query?
No, yes, thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful. So good. So now coming back to the buyer and the seller issue in abandoned cart. Okay. So what we do and what companies do, and I have done it earlier while running the e-commerce, very large e-commerce portal, while I was working for a venture capital fund. So you talk to the customers that okay, these are the problems that they are facing, and then you have the data also with you. Say for example, we know that okay, 70% of the carts are abandoned at the checkout stage, not while say window shopping. I mean, there is a stage when you are just window shopping, you are going, putting it in your cart, and then you review your cart, which one to keep, which one to eliminate from there and add to your wish list, and then you pay for it. So where does majority of these abandoned carts happen? Maybe 70% of cart happen abandons happen at the checkout stage. Maybe say mobile experience, a lot of people are say shopping on mobile devices. Maybe it's not optimized. On the seller side, again, lower sales because they are not able to sell. People are abandoning the carts. Higher CAC, customer acquisition cost. Lower margin because they are spending a lot of money on marketing but not selling enough, so margins are lower. And in the end, the biggest is higher marketing cost, because if they have to sell more, they have to bring more customers onto their platform. So now, if we define this problem, maybe in a couple of sentences, in the second stage, it comes down to that, okay, how can we create a streamlined and trustworthy checkout experience that reduces customer frustration and encourages them to complete the process? Okay, and this is just an example. You might I mean, there might be different frame that you set for a say food delivery app, or a say QSR kind of an app, or a D2C application, or maybe a marketplace. There can be different I mean, definitions that
Now,
you can.
one good example that I would like to state over here is of milk basket. So the entire process is very easy. You don't need to check out. You just select, and it will be checked out on its own. So they
Yes.
have the number of layers are very less over there.
Yes, yes, yes. So now actually e-commerce is at a very I mean, advanced stage. So I started my first e-commerce company 12 years ago, almost 14 years ago. It was a struggle. It was even getting a payment gateway at that time was a struggle. So now it is at a very mature stage. But I took this example because a lot of people know about how e-commerce works. If I had taken the Leggit AI example, half of the people would have dropped because not many people are interested in contracts. So then comes the ideation stage. That okay, how do we solve these multiple problems? So in the define phase, there can be only one problem that you might want to solve, or there can be multiple problems that we might want to solve. So say for example, I'll take our example. There were initially so many problems that we had to solve. We created our own e-signature platform to solve one of the problems. I mean, it works better or as good as DocuSign or Adobe Sign right now. But yes, if we had to solve that problem, the idea was that okay, we have to solve this problem. What do we do? Either we integrate with these or we create our e-signing solution. The integration was not that seamless. What we did was took a call, made an investment, created our own e-signature platform. Okay, so sometimes you have to take, it might be a very simple tweak, it might be a say might take a couple of months or might take a couple of months along with a huge investment as well. Okay, say we create a one-click checkout, as Ridhima just suggested, that okay, maybe allow customers to save their information and pay with a single click. So that's one of the options. Second, do not give all the fields at the same time. Maybe take them through that information that we require from them step by step. Guest checkout option, you do not have to create an account. I mean, as a guest, you can check out. You create mobile optimized checkout, that okay, you do not have to kind of struggle for finding the information or zooming in, zooming out, and create trust signals and payment security, that okay, you would be seeing that okay, we have this particular ISO certification, we have this payment gateway integrated. So that's basically for trust, creating the trust. Okay, so again, I'll give you our own example. Once we created the first version of the product, we thought at Leggit AI, we thought that okay, this will be used by startups and small companies, founder-led businesses. But suddenly we started getting inbound queries from very, very large firms. So when I say very large firms, the likes of PepsiCo, not only PepsiCo India, PepsiCo Asia, Middle East, South Africa, Dubai Islamic Bank, Dubai Holdings. There is an aviation company, I cannot disclose the name, based out of Europe. Third biggest manpower supplier, manpower and staffing company in the world. So they started reaching out to us and we were very happy. They were happy with the solution, but once it went to their legal team or their infosec team, information and security team, they wanted all the compliances in place. Okay, they said, okay, we'll not take your solution because we are supposed to have these compliances in place. You won't believe we spent a lot of money and 6 months in just getting ISO 27001, 27701, GDPR, SOC 2 Type 2, California Protection Act, all these six AWS cryptography. It took us almost 6 months and a lot of investment which we hadn't even budgeted to get just these compliances so that we have the trust of the customer. Okay, so that, I mean, that again is a cycle of design thinking. So once you have picked up these 3 or 4 solutions, that okay, let's build this, you prototype with uh, a smaller set of customers. So once you do it in house, then you do it with a smaller set of customers. For example, when we just onboarded first 10 customers, that was actually a prototype. But our intent at that time was not only to check the product and improve it, but to also see whether the customers are willing to pay for it or not. A lot of products fail, a lot of things, initiatives fail because there is nobody. I mean, people just want to use it for free. Okay, and then you test it out in the market. Again, as I said, there are multiple ways that you can test. Most famous is the A/B testing that we do. Then we keep improving it. Once we hit the say the targets that we have in mind, we implement it. So now, while creating the prototype in this particular example, one just creates 3 simple steps, that okay, just get the shipping info, payment, and confirm order. That's it. Payment information, your credit card, debit card, and then confirm. Autofill fields wherever you can. So you initially, if you remember, we had to fill twice, the billing information and the shipping information. Then came the checkbox that okay, billing information and this is same. Or right now we can use say have multiple addresses and pick one of them to say ship the product, and then create mobile friendly design, a guest checkout option. You have all those Visa, Mastercards, SSL secure badges, so that people feel comfortable that okay, I'm not wasting my money. Then you kind of test it with a small set of customers and create a feedback loop. Okay, so now again, I would say what we have done in Leggit 2.0 is we have created a feedback loop using AI itself. That okay, if certain customers or customers more than certain number are doing are not clicking on a button or are clicking on a button, the AI suggests us that okay, you should not have this button. Okay, and then the next A/B test we do, we give one option where the button is there, one option where the button is not there, and then see that okay, which one gives us better results, and then kind of pull down which is not giving us good results, and kind of improve which is giving us say better results. Okay, so again, this food feedback loop is very important from the customer, and then the last part is to implement. Okay, so once we implement, uh, go and have certain parameters in mind that okay, are we hitting these parameters or not? Because these were the initial parameters that we decided that the customer is looking for. Because in such scenarios, you can define your own success. That okay, this is the problem. I'll solve this problem if I am able to meet out of these 10, 8 parameters or 8 say KPIs. If I'm able to hit, I'll consider it a success. Rest two I'll do in the second loop, because sometimes what we do is we end up focusing so much on all the parameters that we have to satisfy, we are not able to reach at a solution, or and the customer is still in pain. Okay, so once you have hit these parameters, go back again to empathize phase. Check with the customer that okay, are there any more problems that we are facing right now? Then again define, again go through the process. A lot of companies, for example, including the iPhone, they go through this process. Good thing with technology products is that you can get the feedback right on the device itself, or I mean there are many other methods that you can do. I mean, you can check the usage, you can check the installs, uninstalls of certain apps, you can check the internet speed, how the device is giving. So Apple goes through all this data and keeps deploying this feedback loop to launch the new models. Okay, so now the most topic of interest, I mean the most interesting topic these days is design thinking in the age of AI. How do we deploy deploy design thinking? So I'll give you a real life example that I worked. There are a couple of consulting firms that we work together with. They do the consulting, we do the technology part. And right now we are not just focusing on contracts, we are focusing on sales enablement, and we have kind of beta launched another product where we, with say, if there are multiple LLMs working in tandem, we call it a large action model, LAM. So you can have agents can work together with each other and create a LAM. Okay, so we have created an ALM where the traffic on your website can be, we can handhold them and convert to customers, increase the revenue. So we have deployed for ourselves. Now we are kind of segregating it as a separate product and launching in the market. Already kind of testing it with two very large customers. And I'll take you through. This is a hypothetical example of combining both the requirements of both these customers, and how we are trying to solve it, and how we have kind of solved it for these two customers. Okay. So now there are a lot of tools available right now. Number one, say for example, if we are empathizing with a customer, we can talk to a set of customers, but we can also check the sentiment, that if they are raising tickets, or I mean they are calling our call center or writing us mails. We can kind of create a repository and run an analysis on it, that okay, what is the sentiment? Is it frustration? Is it accomplishment? Is it a kind of loss of faith or trust they do not have in you? And again, behavior insights. I mean, there is a lot of data available with, especially customer say success teams or customer support teams, where we can run these tools and give the result that okay, from this set of data, I can tell you that this particular problem is being faced by a lot of customers. If you solve this, your tickets will come down. We have actually done this for a very large aviation customer based out of Europe. Okay. Then
Harshdeep,
you define. Yes.
Harshdeep, sir, we have a question. Can we take it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Monica ma'am?
Yeah, yeah. So, Harshdeep, you are talking about the prototype design through AI intervention tools and all. I just want to know, like, if we are getting into the prototype design, which is AI driven, design from an AI driven tool. So, how much will be the challenge in copyright or patenting that particular design? Because earlier, everything was manually made and there was no such case of plagiarism or copying or something like that. So how feasible it will be if I'll design a prototype with the intervention of AI tool, and can I go ahead with the copyright or patenting easily, or do I need to take special permissions, and how do we go about it?
Okay. So it depends upon case to case. Say, for example, right now, in this example, one, we are using AI tool to analyze the customer data. Okay, the customer data may be the support tickets that they have, the feedback that they have received from the customers, and then even for ideating, um, there are a lot of tools available. It's not that, okay, you, I mean, see, at the base level are the models like ChatGPT or Perplexity, where you ask the question and it gives you the answer. Okay, that's a very basic level kind of a thing where you give the problem to AI and it gives you the solution. But right now, what I'm talking about is the tools which can actually co-create with you. That, okay, I for example, okay, I'll give you an example. For one of the customers, what we did was that, okay, these are the invoices and these are the payment statuses of last 10 years or last 5 years. We gave it to our AI tool and asked that, okay, how do we ensure that revenue leakage does not happen or revenue delay does not happen? So it kind of analyzed, we had to train it, but it analyzed and told us that, okay, for these set of customers, you send the invoices 1 week in advance because they have a history of late payments. Okay, so that's kind of a co-creation of a solution. And then how do you create a solution? Again, you can create a solution that, okay, give it to the system and say that, okay, I have two sets of customers now: one which pay on time, two which do not pay on time. Which pay on time, send them invoices on this date. Two, which do not pay on time, send them 1 week earlier, or when you send it, have more follow-ups with the customers who do not pay on time. We actually implemented it and it increased, shortened their invoice to revenue kind of cycle. So I mean, what we are talking about is creating these kind of solutions which may or may not require a patent. But yes, even for us, we have filed 2 patents in the US this month, and one we are filing in January. I actually did the patent research using AI tools that, okay, we have this in place. Are there any patents right now available, or products which are already patented in this space? And then kind of kept on tweaking it till we came up with a design which was available for patent. So it's not that, okay, whatever output the AI gives, we can file it for patent. But yeah, it's a iterative process, and you can kind of co-create these things with using AI.
It means we can file a patent even if we are collaborating with AI.
Yes. Okay, so one of the patent that we have filed is, say, for example, right now you can train, what we have created a model where we can train the AI on static data, number one, which is, say, a lot of contracts which customers have. Two, on dynamic data, the data that is created kind of every day, on the calls customers do, or the communication, that is email communication that happens, chat that happens, that is captured on a daily basis. Third, on internet sources, that, okay, there are maybe 25 internet sources, I connected to my database, and then create a single database on which an AI keeps on training on my static database, my dynamic database, and the database that is available on the, royalty free data that is available. For example, there are a lot of portals where you can pick up their data and train your AI on. So even if you can even file a patent on the new method of training an LLM that you have devised. So that, I mean, that's what we are filing. In the process right now.
So, sir, like when you see the Indian demographics, like when we talk about the, CK Prahlad, the bottom of pyramid, and down the line approach, and more than 72 or maybe more than that population resides in rural. So, how do you see design thinking as a feasible approach when it comes
Okay.
to, you can say, rural kind of product design or development,
Yes.
or yeah.
Yes. Yes. So the biggest example when it comes to first of all, Dr. CK Prahlad, the fortune at the bottom of pyramid actually has failed. It did not produce the kind of fortune that people were looking for. But the bottom of the pyramid, consumers, the biggest example and the biggest success story is smartphones. So even a person who has not gone to school, or maybe who has just studied till fourth or fifth or primary school, is able in India right now to use a smartphone and type in Hindi, or maybe their regional language. And if you had given them a desktop or a laptop, they might not have been able to do it. Okay. The first thing, when Steve Jobs was kind of a trivia, iPad was actually designed before iPhone. So Apple was already designing. John Ive was already designing iPad before, but they launched iPhone before iPad. The thesis there was, what Steve Jobs wanted was that a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old in a remote village in Africa should be able to use it without being trained on. And they actually it became one of the biggest success stories. We create a prototype, give it to a 70-year-old. So there is, the iPad that we have at home, my father, who is 70 to 73, he also uses, and my daughter, who is 6-year-old, she also uses the same iPhone, and with their fingers. So that's one of the biggest success story if we see the bottom of pyramid, or maybe which is actually applicable to both the top, or top as well as bottom of pyramid. So and then again, there are a lot of, for example, there is an app called Jar app. So which, one of my very close friends, he runs it. um, they sell gold worth around, last year they sold, last month they sold gold around 200 crores just from the app. They understood that, okay, the only investment 80% of India understands is buying gold. The educated might feel, the top of the pyramid might feel that okay, we have to invest in mutual funds, SIPs and all. Go to a village, or a semi-literate kind of user, they just understand gold. So he actually built an app where people can subscribe to gold purchase. I also buy 500 rupee gold almost. Every day I've just set up the subscription. So you can set up your subscription. You can buy with just single click, and even say right now around 2 crore people have subscribed to buying digital gold on Jar app from this guy. So there are a lot of cases, we can.
Please share that link with us so that we should also go ahead with that purchase. Yeah.
Yeah. Jar app is wonderful. Maybe just go to Play Store, type Jar. Jar is amazing. People have built, say, thousands and even lakhs of savings just by saving 100, 200 rupees a day in digital gold. So after that, either you can order a gold coin at your home, or you can withdraw that amount. But if you tell them that okay, invest in SIP, invest in mutual funds and all, they will never understand. They just understand gold. So yes. So now, this is the last thing I promised. Last example that I've given. Okay. So now, what we did, this actually we did for a customer. AI plus design thinking in action. So what we did was, there were a lot of customer complaints, slow response times, things breaking up, high customer churn rate. There were margin issues and dissatisfied customers. So what we did was that, okay, let's pick up all the customer data and give it to our AI engine. That we have. We actually developed. We right now have 8 different AI engines that we have developed. Out of which one we said that, okay, anyhow we are able to analyze documents. Let's kind of tweak it to analyze this kind of a data. And this is a dynamic data. Every day there are new calls, new this thing. So what we did was, from this data, we picked up, I mean, last 1 million customer tickets and analyzed one. They were, the customers were facing a lot of issues in follow-ups, that, okay, why is this not being delivered, or why is my order or shipment stuck here, why is it nobody updating me, okay. And then what we did was, we structured some of the information which was on the chat that happened with the customer support. Both, when I say chat, both verbal as well as say text chat, and kind of found that, okay, a lot of agents were giving inconsistent answers. Okay, your order will be delivered 3 days from now, 5 days from now. So what we did was define that, okay, these are the two key pain points that we will solve right now. 165% of the queries were repetitive. That, okay, I'm not getting an OTP. How do I set up an account? How do I create a new account for my child, or for another entity that I have? And then second was that there was a lot of manual intervention on the customer support side, and we were surprised that the average support time in solving the tickets, response time, was around 3 days. Okay. So now what we did was that, okay, let's do one thing. One, we create a chatbot. Anyhow, we have a chatbot called Agent Lana AI, and then if there are 60%, if there are repetitive queries, let's train the chatbot in such a manner that the opposite person doesn't come to know whether you are chatting with a human being or an AI agent. Okay, we trained it in such a manner, and then deployed it 24/7. 24/7, multiple agents. And what we did right now was, it's not Lana. So if there is a human being called Chris, there is an AI agent called Chris. So when Chris is available, Chris can answer those questions. And if Chris is not available, he's gone home, his AI avatar takes over, and the customers do not come to know whether this is real Chris or not. Okay. So now we can for a customer. So if there are 15 or 20 human agents, we can create 200 AI agents with different names. I mean, it can pick up a name. It will have a personality. It will have a tone, that, okay, is it empathetic tone, or it's a jovial kind of a person. You can actually give personalities to those chatbots. And then with a human in the loop. So there is a process, what we call the human in the loop. You train these chatbots to mimic human behavior. Okay. And then again, the normal predictive analytics that we had. So predictive analytics, what we did was, based on the past customer churn, that, okay, this customer left us, and before that he went through these steps. Are there customers right now who are going through these steps but are still not churned? They are still with us. So take that segment out and handle them really carefully, so that they do not churn. Churn and leave our services. And then we prioritized these, calling them at-risk customers. And then what we did, the results that we achieved was, one, the customer satisfaction went from 70% to 92% in 3 months. So again, there is a feedback loop, that, okay, you keep improving the responses, you keep improving the response time. But since there were 65% of the queries were just repetitive questions, and you could answer it really well. And then um, because getting a new customer is almost say 10 times more expensive than managing an existing customer. So they to maintain the revenue run that they had, and because of churn, they improved. I mean the retention from I mean reduced the churn from 40% to 15%. And right now it's I think fourth or fifth, sorry, sixth month that we are seeing. In 12 months since we implemented the solution, they would be able to increase revenue by 1.2 million from new customers, because they have a limited marketing budget for a year. If you are able to control churn, that marketing budget can be used for say getting new customers. So that's a huge jump that this customers saw. And then the as average response time also reduced. There were a lot of cost savings as well. And yeah, I mean this is still in progress. Now what we are doing is replicating the same for another firm in again in Europe right now, but in a different industry. So kind of you're already at 725. Concluding that it's not just for product or service innovation. I personally believe that if you do not have a good product, you cannot build a good system or a good company around it. That's the baseline. So first deploy. The first use case or the strong use case to deploy design thinking is building a good product, improving it, having a good service in place, and say always evolving and improving it. Second, Indian companies are really bad at customer experience. I mean, they are really good at selling. Once you sell, and if you face a customer issue, they do not actually care. So one of the buckets where the companies can actually increase their margins and revenue is improving the customer experience. So that's a really important function. Then business process optimization. There is a lot of redundancy, or I mean both in actions as well as repetition of data across the processes. You can deploy design thinking there. A lot of legacy companies have gone through digital transformation, and what we get right now are a lot of queries where even digitally transformed companies want to go through the AI transformation that is happening right now. So again, a lot of scope for design thinking here. Social impact, again, assessing say impact, say NGOs or companies who are working in the social impact segment. We can improve that. Employee experience and workplace experience, again a huge area that can be improved, because people somehow do not want to talk to HR. Okay, if you can create an experience that without talking to HR or without going through the process, the person can answer their queries. It's a wonderful thing. Marketing and brand strategy, again, it's a huge feedback loop from the market, not internally but from the market, that we can deploy. Education and learning. Startups, and then startups and entrepreneurship. Actually, that's the last point. Startups and entrepreneurship. Actually, we have ourselves deployed, and there are a lot of friends that are deploying design thinking right now. Some of them, one of them that we are working on right now is a company again based out of Noida, which is right now a $600 million company, but kind of plateaued at that revenue. So now we are deploying Leggit AI, again going through the design thinking process with them, so that okay, these are the problems that we are solving, and facing them that. So this is a wonderful image that I always use. Design thinking, you can deploy it for building paper planes, as well as building actual planes and running an airline. And as luck would have it, our second biggest company, I mean customer right now, is an aviation company which has around 200 planes that they have, right from Boeing 787 to commercial small say chartered planes that we have. They lease it out to other airlines. They lease it out to millionaires, billionaires. and you can deploy it at any scale, smallest of the bits to the largest of the systems. So any question that you have, I would love to answer.
Before anybody starts their questions, I just have a very small question in mind, sir, while I was listening to you.
Yes.
Uh, there is something that we always talk about is ethics. And when we are talking about design thinking, I think this should be one of the topic that when we are designing something, what are the ethical considerations that we should keep in mind at the very first place?
Okay. So I would say one, even when we start the process, the biggest issue that we face is the bias, be it say AI models or I mean the normal traditional models that we have in place. Okay. Um, so design thinking actually removes bias because it forces you to talk to the customers who are the end users. Okay. Now the problem that comes is sometimes we are again biased. We pick and choose those customers which we feel that okay, we can solve the problem for them, and actually ignore those customers which we feel that we cannot solve the problem for. Okay, so that's one of the biggest things. And there are commercial factors that also play. I do not want to get into a customer segment where I will not make any money. I want to solve a problem for customers where I will be able to make money. So that's one thing. Second is definitely ethics play a lot of important role. Maybe not that defined in the Indian subcontinent, but once we have um, start dealing with European customers or European users or American users, they are very, very concerned about their data. Okay, there have been a lot of instances where the data breaches happened in India, and the customers did not even care about it. That okay, it was in the news. I won't name these marketplaces and portals from where the data was leaked, but we were not very concerned about it. But if the same thing happens in Europe, they'll file a class action lawsuit against the company for data breach. So it's not only ethics, but I mean sometimes it's a combination of both ethics and the regulations that you try to follow, both in spirit and word. It should not be only in word that okay, I can have a different set of rules for my European customers, and I'll have a different set of customers for my Indian customers or Middle East customers. Do not do that. So my suggestion always is pick up the highest standards and deploy it for all your customers.
So true, sir. Any other question before we finish off the session? Dr. Vivek Sharma, do you have a question?
Sir, good evening, sir. I am Dr. Vivek Sharma belong to Baba Faith Group of Institution, Bathinda, Punjab. Recently, I have also started the startup Hariner Recyclers LLP in Bathinda, Punjab. So my question, thank you very much for such a wonderful session. My question is, what is the difference between lab patent or the process patent?
Okay, so good. I might not be able to answer this question. You might require some legal advice here. But I'll tell you. I mean, there can be what we have filed and we know is one is the design patents. We have filed the two design patents and then the process patents. Okay.
Yes.
So and then there are utility patents as well. So so basically, the design patent can be on something that is that you have designed both in physical and digital form, which does not exist right now. Okay. Process payment. A patent is there are. The elements of the process are already existing, but you have kind of created a sequence which does not exist, and you can file a patent. Again, process payment is slightly difficult to file in India, but it's easier to file in the US. And then at the last moment comes the utility patent, where I can say I can, if there is a process or a product that is already there and is being used, say for insurance, and I somehow find that it can be utilized for say e-commerce, I can create a new utility out of it and file a patent. About lab patent and all, I might not be the right person to advise you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So,
Dr. Sharma, don't worry. Soon we are going to have a session on IPR.
okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. One question, sir, if you are possible to, what are the variable and fixed cost associated with generating revenue? You
Okay.
explain it. Yeah.
Okay. So again, I mean, all the costs or revenue can be generated into three parts. One is you might incur a one-time cost. That,
Yes.
okay, for this particular, for implementing this this particular solution, there is this one-time cost which I'll bear one time, and that's it. Or the customer bears it on your behalf. Second is there might be a subscription kind of a cost. Say for example, rentals. Okay, rentals are a subscription cost that, okay, every month you have to pay 15,000 rupees, which is a fixed amount, or 1 lakh rupees, which is a fixed amount. We call it subscription or rental kind of a cost. Third is the usage cost. Say for example, in that factory, you now have say ACs and all these electricity there, and depending upon the usage of that electricity, you will get the bill. Sometimes you'll get 5,000 rupees. Sometimes if the usage is higher, you'll get a 50,000 bill. So broadly, majority of the costs can be divided into, say for example, your employee salaries. They are subscription. So every month you have to pay the same salary. Okay. So these are the three heads under which we can define both the cost as well as revenue. So your revenue also, if you charge it one time, it is one time. If you call it, it's a fixed amount monthly, it's a fixed subscription, and if it is based on usage, it's a usage base. So three heads. I mean, there might be others, but 99% or 95% of the cost and revenue can be defined under these three.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harshdeep sir. It was indeed a very informative session, and trust me, first time I have actually understood what is design thinking, and now whichever product I'm going to see, I will evaluate it. Okay, this is the right design.
Thank
Can-
you.
I was about to say the similar thing, that this term looked so fancy, but we
Yes.
never dig deep into understanding what is the literal meaning of design thinking.
Exactly.
So relevant, sir. Yeah.
So relevant. Sir, can we take one last question? Dr.
Yes.
Is there? I know the second session is getting late.
Sure.
2 minutes. Dr. Sarkar, good evening. Dr. Sarkar, good evening. You have raised your hand. Do you have a question?
I think that would have been by mistake. Yeah.
Yes, must be. So with this, we have come to the end of this session, a very important session rather, design thinking. And sir, as rightly said by you, that first of all, we have to understand the customers, the need of the customers, what are the problems that they are facing, and then we have to ideate and come up with a prototype. Because nowadays, customers, they don't want to waste their time. They want a right product which can help them, to do the things easily. So that's the very first thing as a customer that I also do. I only go to those websites, especially if I talk about the e-commerce platform, where the things are very easy for me.
Wonderful.
Harshdeep sir, before you leave, I have this lot of thing going in me. What is written behind the picture that is there? Things? Is it things?
Okay, behind me. Sorry. This is enjoy little things. So
Okay.
I actually got it because I'm a guy who loves kind of experiencing or creating wonderful experiences even out of small interactions or small things.
Amazing. I could only read things and I was like, there should be something that this justifies. So I thought I'll ask you.
Yeah.
Harshdeep sir, all the best for your all future projects.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And there are some people asking if we could get the PPTs. So will you be comfortable sharing it?
Yeah. I can share, and there are a few other materials I can share, some videos if you want.
Definitely. So
And share
we'll
a
create
couple
a
of case
drive.
studies. Yeah,
Yeah.
there are case studies also I can share, and maybe a couple of books that we can go through, both
That's
physical and
Perfect.
digital products.
that's really
Perfect.
great.
That will be really helpful. Yeah.
So please mail me. I'll send it to the participants.
Sure, sure. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. With this, we'll take your leave. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining and sparing your time for us. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone. Take care.
Uh, Thank you. Thank you once again, Harshdeep, sir. Now it's time for the sixth session or the second session of the day. And this session will be taken by my co-coordinator, Dr. Ridhima Sharma. So, ma'am, you're ready?
I'm all ready.
You're all ready? I hope all the participants are also ready because that it is going to be very, very interactive session, right? A very stress-free session.
Definitely.
So first of all, let me take this opportunity of introducing Dr. Ridhima Sharma. Dr. Sharma is a PhD in marketing and an alumnus of IIM Calcutta. She's a certified digital and social media marketer. She has over a decade of experience in both corporate and academics. She has worked with many notable brands such as Naukri.com, Taurus, and Expedia. Dr. Sharma's research on digital consumer journey, brand engagement, and experience has been published in reputed journals. She has presented her work at national and international conferences, which includes IIMs and Oxford University, UK. She is passionate digital marketer and one of the dynamic faculties of Jaypee Business School. I'm fortunate enough that she is also one of the co-coordinator of this ATAL FDP.
Thank you so much, Nitima. That was so wonderful. They've been listening and hearing to me throughout 2 days. So now I think they know me very well. Okay.
So
So
session and participants is all yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I'll quickly begin because I know 15 minutes or less. I have a clock right in front of me so that I don't exceed the time. And we'll have very small points being covered. But before I formally begin, I can see somebody driving. I can see somebody must be in the kitchen because it's time for household chores. So I'll quickly release a poll here because there is some group dynamics that I want to understand. And it is also a requirement by some of the fellow session takers who will be coming in upcoming days. So quick poll. You just have to see in your screen and apply it. So we need it for our own reference and for my session to conduct. So I'll be launching one by one. Okay. Just try and put your remarks. The first one must be there on your screen. It will ask you to put in your background. Nitima, can you see the poll? So it says it is live and I've started getting the responses.
Why can't I see it?
Okay. So I'll only make it live for just 30 seconds. So you'll all have to quickly log in. That will also tell me how active you are.
Yes.
I can see 116 registered. So if you're listening.
Oh, you have to go on the triangle with a square and circle to it. Please click that.
They'll see it because I can see the responses coming in. Yeah. Done. I can see. Yeah. Arshi ma'am, you are active. And she promised me that she'll ask me questions. So let's see. Okay. Confined. Dr. Puneet, you'll have to see either it'll appear or there will be 3 dots that you'll find there. I have already got 20 responses, so I believe everybody can see it. Most of it,
there's a triangle. If they can click on the triangle.
Yes, so there's a triangle coming down. If you click on the triangle, you'll be able to put in your response. Triangle. Just click on the screen. You'll see a triangle.
Just next to the message window.
I think in the you'll have 3 dots. Just click on those 3 dots, and then you'll see a triangle. If you are on your phone, you'll see these 3 dots. Just click on these 3 dots, and then you'll see a triangle. Right bottom triangle pulls, right? Okay, so most of them, I've got 25. I'll wait till 5, 6 more because I believe that is the amount of people who are active. 26, 28. Okay, so mostly we are 80% academicians. Okay. Thank you so much. I'll be launching the other one. 3 dots below, and then you'll see a triangle. There is where you have to put in the poll. Perfect. So mostly we are all academicians. Perfect. I'm launching the second poll. So are you all comfortable with little Hindi, or you want me to be communicating with you totally in English? Okay, because I'll be showing you campaigns. If it's in Hindi, then I have to put the transcripts on. Total English. I've got 2 votes. Okay. Mixed. Okay. Okay. Fine. So since 90% of the people are okay with little English being part of it, that will help me design my lecture. Okay, there's one poll on gender that I'm launching. This is not for my own reference, but for the other session which will be conducted. So I need to know this gender demographics. Quickly vote so that we can straight away begin with the session. Pankuri and Yashika, if you're here, you can just note down the screenshot of the polls, because you're
Okay, ma'am.
co-host, you can take screenshots. Yeah. So we are a female dominated meeting here.
Or only
Perfect. So
females are replying.
no, males are replying. I can see 15 votes.
25 for females.
25 for females.
Females are
We are by
multitaskers.
birth very active, and we are
The
multitaskers by
kitchen,
birth.
the
Yeah.
polls are on.
Okay, good. Thank you. So I get a good 40-60 ratio. Good. And the last question. I'm just launching it. This is for fun. Do you all have a morning, evening punch in your office to record attendance? I just want to know how many sail in the same boat.
I wish it had an emoji. A crying sort
I
of.
wish.
Instead of yes, no.
I wish to. Okay. We have a real punch and a punching machine. I can feel the pain in your voice, sir.
Punching machine giving a punch.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I got it. The 3, we have the lucky ones who don't have a punch. Okay, perfect. Let's begin with the session. I'll allow me 2 minutes to quickly share my screen. Yashika and Pankuri, I hope you have all the responses about gender and the academics being noticed.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So let's begin. Give me a go ahead. Ayan, let me take the session and then I'll take your questions. Don't worry. I'll stay here till the time I don't answer you. And you can sit back, you'll understand my session also. Ridhima, are we good?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
So it's working fine?
Yeah. Can you
I'll
change? Can you
just-
change?
Yeah,
Right.
I'll just change also. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Changing?
Okay, yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. When I'm on this full screen mode, I can not see your chat and your hand raises or any doubts. So Yashika, Pankuri, please be with me and tell me in case there is something that I have to take care of. Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
All right. So the session allocated to me had a title called as Marketing of Innovation. Whereas when I went back and when I started preparing for the session, I thought that word "of" does not fit well. Why? Because an innovation cannot fall next, and we cannot market it once we don't understand what is it, right? So I took that leverage and I removed the word innovation, because when we look at the process of marketing, because marketing is nothing, it has an ing, so it's a process. when we look at the process of marketing, we have to first identify the need, then we make the product, right? Between we do all the STP, and then we have all the tactics, which are the 4Ps. So the product or the innovation will come a little later. So I thought, let's start with what is marketing and then move on to how innovatively we can market something which is an innovation. So I took that leverage and I removed the word innovation because this is the more appropriate title, is what I felt. Okay, so we'll take up it. And in case you feel that I don't cover and give you answers on what is marketing of innovation, I'll stay back and answer you very properly. Okay, my agenda for today will be very small but very deep. So I'll first cover on something where what are the latest marketing trends when it comes to 2024. This has been lately released just a week back by Kantar, which is a very famous marketing agency. Okay, so they have collated whatever has happened in the past 3-4 years and then release some marketing trends, which is very, very helpful. So I'll take up that. I'll show you some very very important use cases of how technology, marketing, innovation all comes together. Then I'm going to talk about what data can do. And what is more important is what data can't do. Because we keep hearing about, all the good things about data, but there is something where data doesn't help us. So I will also talk about what data can't do. And then we'll dive into some campaigns which have worked wonders for the brands. And that's how we'll move ahead. So straight away jumping into the report that I was just talking to you about. I'll give you a PDF link of this. I have already downloaded it, but it is publicly available for everybody to access. It is called as Marketing Trends and Predictions for 2024, released just a week back. So you all can go back, check that report. Very interesting. I have not, it's a 350 page report, but I have taken out the top 6 trends from that report. And yes, I've used ChatGPT to take out what is most important, but the top 6 marketing trends of the report mentioned there is 1, higher video consumption, right? Second is that social media needs to up their game. We'll dive into all the 6 trends once I read it out. Third, safety first. There is something called as sustainability and where marketing should emerge. This is one of the very important trend which has come up. Then there is a trend which says that brands are now entering into a creator community. What does it mean? How does it help? We'll dive into all the 6 trends. And then the last one, which talks about woke and not broke. Okay, let's start with the first one, which says that the amount of consumption of video has increased. Okay, now what does this mean, or what could possibly be the reasons? If one or two can quickly unmute and answer, that's okay, because then I'm going to dive into what is the reason of why, video consumption is now increasing. Anybody can answer.
More attractive.
More
Attractive.
More attractive. Very good. Okay. It's more engaging, more attractive. Yes. Anybody else?
Moreover, videos leave a long-lasting imprint in the minds of the customers or your target audience. They stay on a longer time as compared to a normal content.
Absolutely. But that has been always true, right? Why in 2024 suddenly the consumption increased?
Because then there may be infographics, other things which are being attached, which actually, once we look at to it, we actually connect with our daily needs, and then we cater to that product easily.
Nice. So the amount of media, you mean, like the rich media which is coming in, the animations which are coming in, the graphics or AR, VR which is coming in, maybe would have made it more attractive. Perfect. Anybody else?
One of the reasons for increase in video consumption is because of COVID, there are many changes in our lifestyle.
Yeah.
2, video is a passive kind of thing where you do not need to get that much engaged, because if it comes to reading in newspaper or whatever media you read, you need to be active.
Yeah.
You cannot pay your attention to anywhere else.
Yeah.
Then third thing is because of the online content that we see after YouTube, then OTT then came, they consume a lot of our time.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely agree.
Then it became easier for marketers to pushed their things through these media channels.
Right. But you know, sir, when I was reading this report, I had this observation that video is also something that needs your attention. And what has increased more is audio consumption of content. But the data doesn't prove it, right?
Yeah,
Because there are, yeah.
Ma'am, it may be true with audio, but when it comes to print media,
Yeah.
so I was listening to this conversation while I was driving.
Yeah.
It is not possible for print media.
Correct. Absolutely true. One of the reasons all justified, and some of the reasons that the report says for increase in video consumption is because the internet penetration has increased, right?
Correct.
We have more smartphones. We have cheaper plans thanks to Jio, right? Because of this, the rural markets are tapped, okay? And for video, literacy is something that does not matter. Literacy levels take a back seat when it comes to consumption of video content. Reason? Because video is something that you don't need to read, you don't need to understand. It is something which engages people from every age group, right? So these are some of the reasons on why the consumption of video content has increased. And there is some very important demographics which have also come out, that people of more from the rural population have jumped on to now consuming content. So one of the trends which is now up and live and has been proven by data is that video consumption is important. So all brands and all marketers need to look at it. The second trend which has come out in the report is that social media needs to up their game. When I say up their game, what do you all understand? Like, what else does a social media do? Every brand is present on social media, right? Every brand is creating content, and every brand is creating quite engaging content. What else can a brand do to make it more engaging, or how can they up their game? Okay, so I'll take this up. One is to shift their focus from not throwing content as if they're selling something. That is what they say, that, you will have to understand on why do people buy. So we have to shift our focus from selling to focusing on why are people buying. What is the customer's roadmap, or what is the customer's journey? Secondly, where social media is, not being effective for companies is because they are not repurposing their content. They're not reproducing. Every platform which is there on social media, be it Pinterest, be it Facebook, be it Instagram, be it YouTube, be it LinkedIn, or be it X, everything has a different algorithm which is promoting different kind of content. So reproduction of content based on your audience and based on the platform that you're targeting is extremely important. So it's a smart way of marketing, but not marketing, right? You don't have to be on their face that you're marketing, but then you have to be very smartly placing your content. I'll give you some examples in my later slides on how, brilliant marketing campaigns are happening on social media and how do brands need to adapt it. Then understanding is required in what is changing. So if the platform is changing their algorithm and pushing more video content, like what LinkedIn is doing at the moment, LinkedIn was a pure text-based ad, but now LinkedIn has started moving their content to more video content. Pankuri, I see some disturbance happening. Can you mute it? Okay. So understanding what is changing is important, and understanding which platform you're targeting is important, because the world is super competitive. Okay. And how can you refurbish your content? So this is a very good example. For example, Kisan, right? Kisan tomato ketchup, they did a very smart campaign. They did not promote campaign only on TV, but what they did is they collaborated with, do you know the person in the next one, the lady that you see? This is from Kabita's Kitchen. She is a very powerful influencer when it comes to recipes. So what they did, they collaborated together. They have her as a brand ambassador. They paid very little amount than what they would have paid to Sonali Bendre or Kareena Kapoor. And they asked her to create content in her own style. So raw, real, and relatable. right? And she produced recipes where she could have used tomato ketchup. This is where marketing is now heading. We are there, we are marketing, but yet not marketing. We are not on the face. This is what, social media needs to up their game. This is what it meant. There's another very good example of it. See, brands are collaborating with makeup artists. Recode is doing it very well. Nika is doing it very well with their Pink Girl campaign. But this is how the brands need to up their game when it comes to social media. But here also there's a fault. There are some times when influencers create their post, they are posted across just a reel or just a story, or a collaboration request is sent, and then that stops. The report says that no, the stop doesn't have to be there. It has to be taken like a 360-degree influencer marketing. Now, what is 360-degree influencer marketing? I'll just come to it. But up their game means have better kind of content, which is informational, which is real, which is relatable, and then it will be producing results. So we have come up to a good model that 3 hours give you another hour. Raw, real, relatable would give you that result, right? And then this is what I was talking to you about when I say 360-degree content creation when it comes to influencer marketing. So what it is saying is how you can refurbish your content for different platforms. So see, influencer posts about the product which you have given. They'll create a reel. They will put it across their social media in their own style. Then your social media team from brand Spangle could repost it. Even it is true for your own personal brand, because you can collaborate with somebody, you can repost it. Then you can create branded content out of that post. So you can create short form YouTube shorts, you can create reels, you can create some informational part of that video as a LinkedIn post and can repost it. So 3 ways. I'll show you 3 more ways. Okay, then the paid ads that you've been running, which drive sales to you, can also have the similar content because it is branded. You have collaborated. So the brand, instead of having a different creative campaign, can use that same influencer post and run some paid campaigns, right? This campaign can also be used on the product page. Now, when I say product page is where you display. For example, Myntra does it beautifully well. Up, they'll have the product description. If you scroll down, they'll have the product, details, price, everything. And then they'll have all the influencers who've been wearing those, piece of style and how they've styled it. So what you're doing, you are enhancing the engagement on your product page as well. Then you can create an editorial landing page out of it, which you can send it across to emails. So I've given you 6 steps and I'll give you 3 more. That you can create newsletters which can be having the same content. You can use it for direct mail or email marketing campaign, or you can capture it out from or in-store marketing. So you can have been displayed it on your, maybe a cover photo of your Facebook, or if you have a retail outlet, then in the background. Refurbishing the same content, but it is not being used in the same manner. Where we, as marketeers land is that we have a content copy and then we ask our team to post it across on all platforms. And that is why it does not work. Every platform has its algorithm and every platform needs to be updated and optimized based on the type of content that you have been producing, based on the type of audience that you have. So not everybody should have a chef. Some would have a makeup artist, some would have maybe an educationalist, some would have, somebody else who relates to their industry. That's refurbishing. So that's how the social media game now needs to get up and now needs to get more working towards what kind of content, what's the context. That should be very, very clear. Then, okay, I'll give you one more example of a very big, huge success case study of Saffola Masala Oats. They have come up first time. Saffola is the first brand who has come up with oats being used into savory recipes. When oats came in India, or when oats suddenly became popular because of this lifestyle shifting to more weight management and nutritional concept coming into picture, it was only considered to be eaten into a sweet manner. So with milk and that kind of consumption was happening. Saffola Masala Oats did that amazing thing of collaborating with the famous chef Vikas Khanna. They made one TV channel out of it, where Vikas Khanna was asked to create recipes using just Saffola Masala Oats. So he created immense number of recipes. They're all posted on Saffola Masala Oats YouTube channel as well. If you want, you can go back and refer to them. But this is the kind of collaboration and this is the kind of content which is needed. If you see the Masala Oats page of Saffola, amazing it is. So this is what you can do, right? Because it ups your game, right? Or another thing what you can do is what Amul does. Whatever comes in play, Amul gets their hands on it and produces a content. This is also called as movement marketing. Manforce does it very well. Fevicol does it very well. They are very good with trend tracking what is already happening. Or to remember this is also like Behti Ganga mein haath dhona. That is moment marketing. When you capture what is already trending and immediately create some content. But for that, you need your marketing team to be very agile and very, very responsive. Then only you can win over it, right? Moving ahead, the third trend which has come up. Now, the third trend says safety first. So generative AI, we have all started using it. I've been using it. I'm sure all of us are using it. Our students are using it. That, how marketers use it. Day before yesterday, during the first day, we saw some Coca-Cola ads which are generated by AI. Now the Coca-Cola brand manager moves to now Pepsi and gives the similar kind of prompts and generates it for Pepsi. Where does the authenticity lie? Right? Or what kind of data is being compromised, or where is the privacy concern being happening is a major concern by marketers. Because slowly or steadily, you all are marketers and you all would have come to know when does your student use ChatGPT to give you, a kind of result. I can figure out from the output that this is generated by GPT because it generates a similar kind of output every time. So when marketers start using it and similar outputs are generating, where would marketing be? So positivity towards Gen AI among marketers is increasing, but 68% have expressed positive outlook and 59% are excited about their applications. Having said that, the concerns are still very, very high. Because as AI generated content becomes more prevalent, there will be so much need for transparency, right? From the consumer end also and from the marketer end also. So important that we've started using this, but how we use it and what kind of privacy concerns are there has to be taken care of. Fourth is marketing to integrate sustainability. This is something which has taken a very high prevalence in marketing nowadays. When we talk about sustainability, this has taken prevalence, I think, everywhere with the launch of SDGs, because sustainability is something which is the need of the hour. And the brands who have done it or, have supported such initiatives are doing really well when it comes to consumers. Right? We can see H&M Conscious, they have a separate range where they promote that all that they do is towards the benefit of the environment. They all have disposable tags, they all have disposable bags, and it helps them to protect the environment. And all these initiatives are being preferred from the consumer end also. Coca-Cola, which does make a difference campaign where they are helping the environment by reducing waste, has done it beautifully. So see, they come back bottle of the year or recycle and re-enjoy it. Or don't buy Coca-Cola if you don't help us recycle. Such a bold statement, but then maintaining the brand identity so well, they have created these campaigns and have got a good amount of positive response from the consumer, right? Having said that, they've all done it. There should be data to prove it, because 80% of us are academicians and we need research, and we believe only in what research says. So I have research and data also to prove it. There's another campaign which is Love, Beauty and Planet. Can you guess which brand has done it? Anyone have used it or done it? Okay, so it's by Unilever. My younger students know it, and they immediately prompt and tell me that it's Unilever. They've created a special range which will not harm planets, which is vegan. There is no chemicals, with no silicons, no dyes. So doing very well. And then data to prove that yes, sustainability, when it is part of marketing, is helping. So 73% of the consumers, they are preferring responsible, environmental friendly brands. They prefer buying those brands because now sustainability is becoming a part and parcel of their life. This is from McKinsey report. And as of 2024, 11% of US adults, they have identified as minimalist. Minimalist means they want to have just 4 or 5, shopping items, or they just want to have few shoes which they'll wear everywhere. And this has also shown that 26% more are expressing their interest in adopting that kind of a lifestyle, which is minimalist, right? Or they prefer fast fashion, or, we see the trends in increasing these thrift stores, which is pre-owned. Earlier, we have all, grown up wearing clothes and shoes and accessories of our adults, and it was never a trend, but we never have wore something which anybody else who we don't know has wore it. But now it is part of the trend. So thrift stores are coming in, which is another example of how sustainability in marketing is taking a precedence, right? And should be considered. Okay, then we have my favorite generation, the Gen Z. What they can do is amazing. And I just love them for how they are coming up with. And I'm sure when Gen Z does something, it changes the whole thing. And when I am surrounded by Gen Z, whether it's my students or my nephew or nieces in my family, and I just love how they, how they do things, or how they react to things, or how they take decisions, right? They are one of the powerful consumers. Mind it, if you are a marketing faculty, you would know that your consumer behavior models that we teach of Solomon or Schiffman, they all take a back seat when it comes to Generation Z. They're very different. Their motivations is different. Their perception is different. Their attitude is different. They have a different lifestyle, which is very hard to relate to. And 70% of Gen Z, when they are willing to pay more for sustainable products, it reflects that, yes, when sustainability is part of your marketing, it will definitely give you results, right? And see what Gen Z can do. That's why this generation gives me goosebumps. Gen Z's emphasis on sustainability has also impacted older generations. So Gen X has increased by 24%. They have started buying sustainable items because they are influenced by Gen Z's purchasing behavior. And that's a report by World Economic Forum. So that's why the campaign, or that's why, we all have to now focus on sustainability, or where we protect the environment, right? Third one is that brands should start entering the creator community. Now, when I say creator community, what comes to your mind? Being an influencer, but brands are already an influencer. So what is that creator community? And I'll give you an example by showing you a very good example of Spotify. So what Spotify does, and I'll show you 2 campaigns by Spotify which have taken the marketing stream with a stroll. Okay, let's see the first one and then let's talk about it. There's a small video that I'm going to play. Yashika, tell me if the voice is coming fine.
There are problems, and then there are unique Indian problems. 1.3 billion of them. But the truth is, music helps you hustle on. So with Spotify's 3 billion playlists, we told every Indian problem. Hey, there's a playlist for that on billboards across India. We did geographical social listening, then sentiment analysis, and offered help with 3 billion playlists. We tickled the corporate owls and asked, graveyard shift, but already dead inside? There's a playlist for that, zombie business. And when some were pushed out of the Delhi metro, we said, got down here not by choice? There's a playlist for that. Train harder. We calmed the anxious traffic at the Indian space station and asked, shooting for the moon, but stuck at the signal? There's a playlist for that. Bruno Mars. And to the undergrads waiting to start up, we said, when the only angel you're looking for is an investor, there's a playlist for that. Living on a prayer. That's not all. We cleverly sparked conversations about arranged marriages, frustrated software engineers, epic college rivalry, rejected foreign visas, failed vacation plans, and many more. With over 1,153 direct messages to India. An outdoor campaign that came from online chatter circled back to social media with over 72,000 unique shares. There's a playlist for that became a part of internet slang and how.
That's the kind of marketing we're
Ridhima ma'am,
looking at now.
Dr.
Yeah.
Ananthi is raising the hand. Can we have a question?
Yes, please. Just a second. I'll just close this.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Dr.
Please go
Ananthi?
ahead.
Dr. Ananthi, you have a question? You have raised your hand. Ma'am, I
No,
think you can
I
go ahead.
think. Okay, fine. So this is the kind of creator community that a brand needs to become. Okay. And when they do such kind of campaigns, you saw the result. There is a virality that happens. People start creating memes on that. People start sharing it on their own website. Your impressions increase. You start engaging. And Spotify has done it and has done it again and again beautifully. There are so many case studies of Spotify. I'll tell you one more where I'll not play the video, but I'll show you how they did it. Okay, I'll share back my slide. Okay. Okay. So everybody, if you keep listening to Spotify, just open your Spotify now and you'll see that Spotify has something which is called as Wrapped. Now, what is Wrapped? Wrapped is where they have used your data for over a year and then they have given you on the music you've listened mostly. They've given you which artist have you listened to, and they've given you for how many minutes on which particular day did you listen to that music, and then a list of songs which are of your, your taste, your preference. Now, what is happening with that is, people have gone crazy because everybody uses Spotify. A very small activity for Spotify because they have user data for every individual, but how it has created like a wind over internet and so many content, people have started creating it. See, if you look at it, you listen for so many minutes this year, and then there was a meme that were you so free? Then when your Spotify Wrapped is embarrassing, so people have been sharing that list and the content does not end. Oh my God, my 2024 Wrapped is out. Then there is people who are creating content on it. Okay. Then there is something where they say, let me know in the comments below, is Spotify Wrapped kind of bad this year? August was your pink, Pilate Princess Catwalk. They have amazing amount of content, which they have not generated, but the users have. And it is giving them as a brand. So see how the content is now changing, how marketing is now changing. It's not on the face, but still happening, right? That's how the social media game needs to go up. And that's how the creator community, which brands are jumping into, needs to go up. Phenomenal user-generated content. UGC is user-generated content. Phenomenal reach, phenomenal engagement. And if you haven't yet and you use Spotify, you should go back to the app and check for what's your Wrapped, because it's amazing. You'll be amazed and you'll be getting that urge to share across with your connections. Okay. The sixth and the last one, the trend that has come through that Kantar report says woke and not broke. Now, woke is when brands have started supporting certain activism statements or feminism or the other communities like LGBTQ, which has come up. So apart from sustainability, when brands start supporting all these campaigns and show that they support that, that has also helped brands improving the kind of content they do. I'll show you one of the campaigns by Dove, right? Beautifully put up, and Dove is very, very famous for it, but you will be amazed to see, where it is heading.
70% of women still say they do not feel represented in either media or advertising. You can't be what you can't see. Dove is proud of what we've done in our advertising, showcasing a broad diversity of women, but we know that it's not enough, and we know that we can't do it alone. That's why we've partnered with Getty Images and Girl Gaze.
What's so important about this particular campaign is that we've been able to highlight and photograph women and girls all over the world who don't generally get seen.
As image professionals, we have the responsibility to authentically reflect society and to help trigger social change. Project Show Us is the largest stock photo collection of women created by women to challenge beauty stereotypes.
If I can break the stereotype and change it one photo at a time, I will do it as long as I can.
In a country like India, if you're gay, if you're bisexual, people will instantly judge you. But Monisha, she doesn't care.
We want to see people that look like us, and more than anything, being able to relate.
I wanted to share with the world unique beauty.
We're inviting you as media and advertisers to come and use this image bank so that we can represent a much broader view of how womanhood looks around the world today. Show us a world where all women and girls feel seen and represented.
So another example of a brilliant marketing which Dove has done, right? And they do it always. But how they have created becoming a creator brand is because they have just clicked those pictures, not use them as part of their campaign, which they already always do. But what they've done is they've uploaded it on Getty Images, which is an image bank. So if you want to use it for a product, for your project, you can go to Getty Image Bank. They're copyright free images and you can download them and use it. Now, what is it helping is create diversity, and Dove is supporting that. So this kind of campaigns are something which, in the late marketing trends have taken a troll over internet, and they have given brands the kind of reach that a general social media post wouldn't have given them. So that's how marketing is changing. It's no more on the face. They understand the context well. They understand where and how to deliver, right? And it's not only Dove, right? Nike has done it. Many a times they've done it. They support. They are an activist brand. Patagonia, which is a shoes brand, has done it. Levi's has done it for different body shapes, for different kind of, accepting every body, every shape that you are in. They do it, and they do it beautifully. So all these things are examples of how woke means how a brand can support an activist statement and then develop on it. Okay. Now, my second agenda for the day. So that was about the Kantar report, and that was about the top 6 marketing trends. We will move on to how data is now going to change marketing, right? Data is going to change, I think, everything. But in marketing, our segmentation is changing because we are giving a lot of data. There is marketing mix modeling, which is changing. Our pricing are changing. Our product is changing. And one of the example of the use cases of this different kind of model is Stitch Fix. This is a very famous case study which does shipping and then shopping model. So what they've done is they use the customer data. So you log in onto your website, they use your data. And then based on, your previous web cookies that you have shared, your previous searches of fashion that you've done, they'll create a wardrobe for you. They'll ship it free to you, and then you can shop. And if it, if suits you because it is from your preferences, you want it, you keep it, otherwise you ship them back. So shipping and shopping model is something which has emerged out of the data being changed, the models, right? Segmentation has been changing, even pricing. You know, where is marketing heading? I'll just tell you. So the landscape is changing, the personalization, the automation, the data-driven decision making. We do not now use psychology to understand if red will give us better, clicks or green will give us. We do A/B test. We launch both and we then analyze data on which of the copy has done better for us. So, data driven decision is what we are heading towards. Then where we used to use our experience and color psychology and what not to take decisions, right? But now data helps us decide. We have personalization, we have evolution of big data, which helps us make more specific decisions when it comes to our customers. Okay. Moving ahead, recommendation engine, another thing which drives our, drives our clicks, drives our product purchase. And sometimes we feel that we didn't know it, but Amazon did. Sometimes we didn't know it, but Myntra did, is all because of the data-driven decisions being taken care of. They're all using all kind of technologies, so a lot of AI to observe that pattern of if one buys, what is the next thing that they'll buy. I'll give you a small case where you will also be able to analyze what kind of family I am in. Okay, so recommendations engines, which are at core. Then pricing, like I was talking about, this has also changed. There is ML based system which is used to now forecast demand. Okay, eBay and Amazon, they are also using this dynamic kind of pricing models because then they offer customized prices. We see Uber, we see Swiggy asking us. All this is dynamic pricing, which was never a concept when we used to teach a pricing model in our marketing class. All this has emerged. We need to upgrade our theories, our concepts when we go to class, because this is where we are heading. Quick commerce is something which works on a different concept altogether. So changes, right? This is where marketing is heading now. So what data can do, we all have seen, and now we'll see a small case study on the same. So I have put in here few bills of Walmart of a similar customer. Now you can make and relate to the same thing, that when you go to Big Bazaar or when you go to a similar shopping, they ask you for your phone number. From your phone number, how do they analyze on what should be on your next list? So this is one of the slips of the bill. There they see that there is a Diet Pepsi, there is a Slim Fast Milk, and then there is a bar. Can anybody tell me what can you make out from these three highlighted items that I've shown you on the screen? Anybody? Quickly respond, because I have a lot to cover. A Diet Pepsi, a Slim Fast Milk, which is generally like a protein thing, and a protein bar. So it tells us about our dietary habits, right? It is telling us that I'm more diet conscious. Then the same person has the second bill, which talks about a dog treat, and then some trump cards, kind of a, MLB cards, which tells me that yes, I have a pet, and which also tells that there is something about a kid. The third bill of the same customer on some other day tells that I've bought some fish hooks and some fish oil. Okay, a marine oil and a fish hook. So now this whole 3 or 4, only 3 and 4. Now imagine the amount of data that a general Walmart would have. Walmart can easily predict from this that I have a kid, I have a pet, and I love fishing. This is what data can do. Data can predict your next purchase. Data can understand from just your previous purchases on what can do. So it knows what happened. It will then get insight into why did it happen, and then will start predicting on what will happen, and the next stage will be how can we make it happen, where the prescriptive analysis comes in. That's what's happening. That's what is happening in the real life, and there are lots of data and statistics to prove it. There's another case study which is about what data will do. So this is a story of an Albert. Okay, now I'll quickly tell you what happened. Jaypee, who is the owner of, the CEO of one of the algorithm firms who makes robots. So he met Asaf Jacoby, who is the owner of Harley Davidson dealership. And then while discussing in that park, they suggested that, their sales were going down. And Jacoby suggested that why don't you try the robot that we have made, which is Albert. And then how does, he helps you in marketing. This Albert, when was incorporated by Harley Davidson, if you see the news of a report in Harvard Business Review says that increased their sales by 2930%. I've never seen this figure in any of the balance sheets. 2,930% sales increased of a bike of a brand like Harley Davidson just by incorporating AI, which is Albert. Now, what did Albert do? So what was happening before Albert? They were doing A/B testing, they were doing channel planning, they were also doing campaign execution and management. But after Albert, they had more strategic planning. They have a 360 campaign guidance. And how did Albert do? Albert creative content, headlines and visuals for Harley Davidson, had key performance indicators, and then used the past data to predict and prescribe. Those who had completed a purchase, added an item to an online cart, visited website content, or those who were among 25% of the time spent on website, he targeted only them with customized kind of headlines and with customized kind of visuals. And this helped Harley Davidson increase their sales by thousands of percentage. He did a lookalike who resembled their past customers and then created some micro segments and then targeted them with personalized messages. So you remember, marketing begins with identification of need. Here, data is being used to identify need from the data which has been created through website, and then they are being targeted with the right kind of offering. Same concept of marketing, same value being generated, but how? With the help of data, right? And this is what is today's marketing all about, right? We are heading to a data-driven economy, and that's why we keep saying that data is actually the new oil at this moment. Okay. One more small example of what data, technology, and marketing can actually do, or what is today's marketing all about. Okay, I'll play this and then let's discuss about it.
The traffic jam Whopper. We used real-time data to detect our potential buyers in a traffic jam to offer them a Whopper and deliver on the move.
Fernanda, buenos días. Señor Eduardo, buenas tardes.
¡Ay, qué bello! Llegaste en chinga, cabrón. Me cagaba de hambre.
Our media was 100% dynamic, promoting our service only in high congestion zones. By leveraging traffic and drivers' real-time data, we adjusted our billboards' location and content. The messages displayed information about the remaining time in traffic to order and personalized updates about deliveries in progress. Also, Waze banner ads and push notifications invited drivers to get a Whopper as soon as they entered our delivery zones. People were able to use voice commands to place the order and avoid tickets. Finally, using the latest Google Maps APIs, our app pinpointed vehicle location and speed in order to deliver for the first time ever to a driver on the move. The delivery zones changed following the traffic live, making our service available when a gridlock was identified, always within a 3-kilometer radius from the restaurants.
Hola Mariana, ¿cómo estás?
¡Ay, te agarraría besos!
Lo siento, estoy en servicio.
In just 1 week, we increased delivery orders by 63%, and our daily app download rate increased 44 times, becoming the #1 fast food app, surpassing McDonald's, Domino's, and Starbucks in Mexico. Coming soon, Los Angeles, San Paulo, and Shanghai. The Traffic Jam Whopper,
enjoy the traffic jam.
Good one, isn't it? That's the power of data.
Yes.
And that's the what all can be done. And that's marketing not on the face. That's incorporating everything that I just spoke about. But do you think, is there anything that data can't do? And now I'll open to questions. Anything that you feel that, is not possible with data. This is what they can't do. Anybody? No? Everything? No, Ridhima, do we have any raise of hands
No,
or something?
I can't see anybody raising their hand. I think everybody's so
Big-
tired.
No, because they don't understand what can't be done, I guess. Yeah,
Can we have
tell me.
questions now? The platform is open for questions.
Anything that you feel that, this is something that they can't do. Because I've given you enough of what can be done. And this is where we lag, because nobody is talking about that this can't be done through data. We say everything can be done through these large language models. Everything is possible.
I remember when Obama, right? Obama
Mhm.
visited India. In his speech, he said data will be the new currency, the next big currency, right?
Yep. Nobody? So everything you feel can be done by data, then why are we teaching? If you start feeling this, then I'll tell you, your jobs are at risk.
Ridhima, can you please hold
useless.
on? Dr. Monica Suri has a question.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Ridhima, first of all, let me compliment you for a wonderful presentation. And
Thank you, ma'am.
kind of examples you have, portrayed and projected has given a lot of reflections to all of us, and specifically the people who are teaching marketing. So
Yeah.
I think it's great. So I just want to understand from you, again, I'll come back to the bottom line, and when it comes to digital literacy, specifically with respect to our Indian origin brands. So because I know everybody has access to internet, and that's why you started your presentation with why videos are becoming so popular, and access to that is so simple today because it is easily reachable and affordable. So what do you think, when your question was that data can't do, so I was just reflecting on what about those niche kind of population or segments wherein still there's a lot to be done, but as they are not digitally active and engaged, so how do you think, what are the different ways to reach to them other than the manual surveys or anything else? So I hope you understood the question rightly. I don't know whether
So you just want to tell me, I think what I understood, if it is clear, is data, how to reach them. If not, because they're not accessible through those surveys, if we pass on.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, they are relieving their data there. The way to reach them is to advertise only, but advertise in a manner. Now, if you want to reach them for your own, own kind of research, which we do as academicians, you'll have to pop up from the screens where they are stuck to. So if you start doing on Instagram, it will not help, but you'll have to go to Moj, the app which they are watching. They are not watching Instagram or Snapchat. That's our, Delhi NCR kids are watching. If you want to go there, every generation of them is on Moj. They are not on Myntra or Amazon, but maybe Meesho would be the right platform to give you data about them. Right? So we'll have to look at the demographics. We'll have to look at what is that they are watching. And then we can have, our questions or our research being pushed in through those platforms. And it has to be in a way literacy is taken care of. We cannot ask them in the same scales that we have for the variables that we use in our research.
So you might be knowing the case of Facebook, where their, I think the president of marketing, like the lady, her name was Katie. She came publicly in BBC and many other modes of media channels to apologize for manipulating the, information from the Facebook of the customers and, the users, Facebook users. And it has become a big, controversy against the Facebook. So what
I
I'm saying
think
is like data sensitivity again has always been a major challenge and concern. So how do you think like when there's so easily accessible data through AI tools or analytics? So what do you think? Where is the confidentiality clause left? And more we are entering into the privacy zone of the customers, and like what do you think will be the challenge in next coming 10 years?
see,
If
government,
everything is so open and there's no privacy and no private zone that we are keeping within ourselves as a customer, so how do you see it in next 10 years?
ma'am, I think the privacy lies in our own hands every time. So it's only vigilance which can help. So if you log in with your password and you don't log out, or you allow the cookies, there is always an option to not allow the cookies and it will not track your data. You can always do that hard work of noting down your passwords rather than asking Google String to remember those passwords, right? You can always look at, when you download an app, there are 100 permissions that app asks for you: your phone, your gallery, your messages, your contacts. You can see if that app does not need those permissions, you can stop those check marks without being in a hurry. We are an impatient generation. I can't wait and watch that 5 second skip ad that comes before YouTube. That's why I've streamed all these videos beforehand, because I know as soon as that ad plays, or if I spend 2 minutes of a time, my audience will be disengaged, and then I'll have to bring them back. So I've buffered them and then kept it as part of my presentation. Vigilance, I think, is the only way to protection, because every data that you're sharing is in your hand. It is easier. We have smart devices. You can switch off the Alexas and OK Googles at your home, and they'll not capture what you're speaking. So I think vigilance is only thing that will help. As far as laws related to privacy are, is your question, then I'm sure government will have to work on it, because there are bills which are being released but then reframed because the amount of data that is going daily. Now, Amazon, when asks you cookies, disable them and your privacy is maintained, but then you'll be at suffering, because then they'll not recommend you in the similar smart manner which they do now. Right. So I think vigilance is the only way. If there is any sensitive kind of data is there which you would like to share, which is related to your banking apps or passwords, or not share, any kind of a photo of your card on WhatsApp, or not share your pins or OTPs, which, there are several campaigns running by government. Right. Every company is
you
doing it.
answered your own question, like what data can't do. Data can give you insight, but can't explain the way you explained to me.
Okay, thank you. Any other one which can still explore in your heads or rub your brain and understand what data can't do? Okay, if not, then I'll tell you. See, there is something that data tells you.
Ridhima ma'am, I'm sorry,
Yeah?
but I think Dr. Ashi, she wants to tell
Dr.
what.
Ashi, yes, I was waiting for her to ask me something.
Hello, ma'am. The
Hello.
session was lovely. Love the examples, the videos that you have shared. You quite relatable, like the Spotify one that you gave, and the
Yeah.
case study that you have done. Since you have asked this question, is there anything that data can't do? I think the data cannot be creative enough, like the new ideas that would be required, since you're talking about marketing and innovation. So data cannot be like creative as humans can be. There's a lot of platforms and a lot of ways to market, or you can say the way the things are promoted on Instagram and on social media. A lot of things have already been taken. So it's just the humans that needs to see what are the other options available. The data cannot be giving us more creative ideas, that the humans, themselves have to do it.
Bang on, but we had a very different kind of statistics which was shared during our inaugural program with one of the professor, where he shared a case study on a prompt being given to ChatGPT to create an innovative product, and then same prompt being given to a student group of 40, like 30 different product ideas, and 30 different product ideas by student versus ChatGPT, and then they were presented to a neutral jury. The ideas that were selected were mostly from ChatGPT. So I guess even they can be very, very creative.
What
But
I mean is,
yes,
Ridhima ma'am, data cannot be intuitive. That intuition that human beings have,
true.
right? We cannot think that data can only set a pattern. Okay, this is happening, so it can give you projection, but not that intuition.
Yes, the logical reasoning is something they can't do. Yeah, that is where we fall in. And one more thing that can't be done through data is understanding the socio-cultural factors. Okay, let's see this video and then I'll ask it again from all of you as to what do you think? Will this video work now, or what did you like about that video, or what should the brand do? Let's see this.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite video.
Yes, ma'am.
Wedding jewelry, please.
Ma'am, Bengali, Tamilian, Marathi, Gujarati.
Punjabi.
Of course, ma'am.
दादी
हाँ
कैसी लग रही हूँ?
सोनी ते तू बड़ी लग रही है, पर तू ये शादी ना करी।
हाँ?
देख, एक तो तूने लव किया और वो भी पंजाबी मुंडे ना। हाउ बोरिंग। कोई साउथ वाउथ का मुंडा हुंदा, दो तरह की शादी होती और दो तरह की ज्वेलरी भी पहनने को मिलती। वो देख सामने कितनी सोनी लग रही है।
दादी मैंने तो पसंद कर लिया, अभी आप छुटकी को मनाओ।
हम किसी भी शादी के लिए तैयार हैं। तनिष्क।
Okay, before I open it, what do you feel? What will that ad work now? It is creative and let me tell you, it's a 10-year-old ad. Now where data, see what we showcase in that ad is a family buying gold, right? You see that there are so many decisions which are taken, emotions being there. Yes. Paul Kennedy, you want to say something? No. Okay. So what we see is a family setting when it comes to buying gold, right? We see how, so many people are involved. Dadi is involved, mummy is involved, father would also be standing there. And what data cannot analyze now from this is the feeling that comes to, when it comes to a family when they buy gold. Now, similar Tanishq, the same brand, does a very different ad when it comes to diamonds. It's only girls going and buying diamonds for themselves now. The gold ad is now changed. Now they don't showcase a family. They showcase individual brides and their preferences when they're coming to buy gold. Now this shift in consumer behavior in terms of the socio-cultural factors, that the shift where gold was initially considered as the Sri Dhan or, an investment, has now shifted in modern trends to buying gold bonds, or, mutual funds as an investment have gained appearance. Now, this shift is something that data cannot predict. It is by you as a brand only that you'll have to dig deep and understand your consumer, talk to your consumer, and then only figure out if this will click. Right? There are a lot of trends like that, which data would never be able to predict. For example, so these social cultural factors is something where you need a marketing expert, where you need that consumer behavior report, where you'll need to pick up that group. If you see here, it all talks about inspiration, business, marketing, but it never talks about the, factors that affect consumer behavior. This is only possible when you dive into your consumer. For example, the new trend that is sink and dink, single income and no child, right? Or double income and no child, or what Ariel has tapped into, that now women need multitasking. No data proves it. Or when did beard become a fashion? No data can predict it. No data could have told you that personal grooming is also a session for men, which will upgrade so well. And now we have brand like Beardo, the man shaving company, the Bombay shaving company, the man company coming in and doing so well. I did not realize when those clean shaves, which I used to, which we used to get scolded for if we were going for a placement. Now the conversation shifted to that, please just trim your beard and then go. Because now 90% of my students in the class, the boys, now have beards. When did this trend change? When did this consumer behavior change? When did it become a fashion? No data will tell you. Why women need to have that share the load campaign where men equally, put hands with work and has beautifully done well. This is only when you go deep dive into your consumer. This data will never tell you. They'll tell you the pattern, they'll tell you the prediction, but we never speak it up. So that is something data will not predict. And this is where we need to understand the market research, which ma'am just pointed out. We'll need to conduct it from the right platforms, but this is something which will not happen, which will not be predicted by data. And there are multiple examples of it where we need to understand the social cultural factors, which are only possible by deep diving into your consumer. Okay, having said this, I'll end my slide with this famous saying that marketing is dead and long live marketing, because the way we used to do marketing is definitely not there, but we still will live marketing in the new ways which are coming up. And I will end my slide with something for technology, because it says like this analogy is very true. Hate him or love him, but you can't ignore him as long as he is the PM. So technology is here to stay. You will have to adapt to it. If you will prosper, if you start empowering yourself with this, but in case you don't, then your jobs will be at risk. So start using GPTs, but start using them well. You should know how to use it, and then no teacher can be replaced with a robot. Because what we can see, nobody can do it. When we are in that invigilation hall, the eye movement that we see, nobody else sees it. Right? The nods, we know that those nods that we see in the head is not a testament to they've understood what we are teaching. We know how to prove it, right? No data can predict that. No robot can be trained in a manner that nods are not that they've understood, right? Those sleepy eyes is only something we'll notice. So no data is going to do it. That's it with my presentation. I'll open to any questions that you have.
Ridhima ma'am, now we have to move beyond Kotler.
Oh, we have to change Kotler.
We have to change Kotler.
Our Bible. It has to be rewritten, and we'll write it.
Okay, so we're open for the questions.
And I think I'm very well on time, isn't? Yeah.
Yes, we have next 8 minutes for questions.
Yes.
Okay, Ridhima ma'am, they're asking for the YouTube link where they can see these recordings again. So what we can do,
I'll share.
Yes. On WhatsApp, we can put the links of the YouTube.
Oh, I'll share a PDF of what I've shown you today. The PDF will have all the links incorporated in it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Before we end the session, first of all, thank you for such a great session, Ridhima ma'am.
Thank you.
There is a okay, Mehak Karoda. She wants to be admitted at the last.
I've done.
Okay. There's something for you participants. We are getting these messages that our attendance is not getting marked on the portal. However, we have attended the sessions. Every day you're getting the feedback forms, right? It is compulsory and mandatory to fill those feedback forms. And secondly, in case if you are not getting your attendance from the portal, then we will not mark you present on the AICT portal. So every day we are taking your attendance from Google Meet. Every day we are downloading your attendance, for how much time you're attending the sessions, how many sessions you're attending, every single thing is being noted. So please do not flood us with the messages that you have been marked absent on the AICT portal, ATAL portal. In case if there is any mistake, we'll recheck it. Otherwise, the attendance has been marked for the first day. For second day, today we'll mark the attendance. For third day, tomorrow, you can see your attendance. And please.
And we've been very vigilant with it. We have been doing this hard work, seeing each and every person so that no name should be missed. So these messages
it is going through four eyes. Four
eyes, yeah. So 4 people are being marking your attendance.
Yes. 8 eyes check. So please trust us and please attend the sessions. At the end of the day, if you are asking to admit you when the sessions are already over, it's not possible. I hope you can all understand because we all sail in the same boat, right? So
Ma'am,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
ma'am, just one thing. I have been attending all the sessions. I have not checked my attendance on the AICT portal.
No, sir, don't
You
worry. If
also-
you were there, it will be present.
Yeah, I have been there, but I have not submitted the feedback forms. So if I can I do it? I mean, submit the form of 16th and 17th today, and the
We will
attendance-
try if we can modify their attendance, but I don't think AICT gives us that right. But still, you please fill the feedback form. We'll check your timestamp and then update your attendance.
Yeah, one reason could be because it was not informed that I mean, one of the criteria for attendance is the feedback forms. While it was mentioned that it is
No,
important.
feedback form is just one of it, but we also get attendance from this Google Meet. So we, fetch the attendance from people who have been coming here. We get every timestamp of how many times you left and how many times you entered. So we take it from the Google Meet.
Okay, so
Attendance we're taking from Google Meet. In fact, yesterday 121 people they have attended the session, and we have received feedback from 146 people.
How is that possible?
See, everything is possible.
Everything is possible, sir. After all, we are teachers of the same students. We are learning from them.
Yes, Vanna ma'am, anything you want to say?
With this conversation, I'm little, I was saying that we as teachers are also, finicky about our attendance, that it should be marked properly on time.
We can understand the emotion they go through.
Yeah. We can understand the emotion of students now. Because
Yeah.
being on the other side of the table probably let you understand the other side much better.
Yeah.
Dr. Vanna, with this, I remember I used to have a director, Professor J.K. Sharma. He used to tell us whenever we used to have those faculty meetings, you are worse than students. Dr. Harsh Kalra.
There's somebody messaging me, how will I be able to get the PPTs and reading material? So, we have a group. We'll not, deform the group as soon as the FDP is over. There are different speakers. We'll take all the session slides from all the speakers who are willing to give it to us, all the reading material that's there, and we'll make a drive link and share it with all of you. So you can
Please
download.
don't take stress. Be stress free.
Please don't take stress.
Be stress free. Material is safe with us. Dr. Harsh, you have a question? Please go ahead.
Ma'am, I don't have a question. I just have a feedback. Ma'am, I've also put it in chat box. Ridhima ma'am and Nitima ma'am, both of your voice, they are they're so pleasant to hear that I couldn't just move even for a second from the session. Both of you two are doing amazing. Honestly,
Thank you so much. Thank you for that compliment. It will give us a motivation that next time we have it offline and have you all there in front of us.
Definitely, ma'am. Mark my attendance. I'll be there.
Dr. Harsh, you've been motivating us since day one. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Anything else anybody has to say, or else we'll close the session?
Okay, so before we close the session, tomorrow we are meeting using the same link, right? So this link we will be using till the end of the FDP.
Yeah, and you'll get a feedback form. Please share it if you have attended it. Otherwise, don't fill the feedback.
With this, thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Have a stress-free
God
night.
bless you too.
Please run for your attendance tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.